Hello, everyone. Sorry I was on mute. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you being here on this Thursday. Hi, Nicey Marie. Welcome in, everyone. We are going to listen to a song from our dear Whispering Winds. Hi, YouTubers here. Thank you for being here to mod. That is indeed was written for our channel about searching for Sebastian. Let's begin with our listening to the song and Sebastian's army searching for this wonderful young man who deserves to be brought home, located, and receive justice.
We gather here as a family, searching clues to find the missing kids around this world, searching far and wide, things that make us cry. Sometimes they are found safe, but many don't get out alive. We fight for justice, for the voiceless. We help one another look for evidence, turn it in and hope they listen to the clues we found, even if it is small. These children are blessings and didn't ask for this. But some aren't even given simple things like love, a little hug, I'm proud of you, just a compliment. Crime Time Buzz is always there looking for answers and help us find you out there. Are you hiding from someone that hurts you? Or did they remove you from this earth because they simply didn't care? Just so you know, America cares. We cry. You notice that you're missing from a dinner table, a holiday, another birthday come and gone. God is with you, my darling, we're trying to find you, searching every day, just so you can play another day. Don't give up on those that really care. You are precious and beautiful, smart and kind, and tomorrow we hope to find you. You are precious and beautiful, smart and kind, and tomorrow we hope to find you. Oh, you.
And that is a song written to me by our friend Donna. Our friend Donna, Whispering Winds. Also, be kind to everyone. Hello, JH, Nicey Marie, Just One Heather, me and you, Jenny Machete, Brown Eyed Girlies. Hello, everyone coming into the house. Michelle Carter, welcome in. I welcomed everyone a little bit earlier as well. We are here for Sebastian Rogers today. We have a lot of information today that we are going to go over. Thank you, Caroline. I love that song. We're going to end with that song. Just, it touches my heart. A whole year, Teresa Stott. And guess what, y'all? We're starting up with our members onlys again Saturday. So I will get that out as soon as I know my tutoring schedule for Saturday. So we are back to members only on Saturday. And thank you, Teresa, for 12 years of support. It's hard to believe that here we are. Let me go ahead and put Sebastian's picture up real quick. I'm sorry. I want his picture up there. It's really hard to believe we are where we are this far down the road. And it saddens me, but we're not going to give up. We are not going to give up. We are going to keep going. There's so many children that need us. And we are going to, right now, we are focusing on Sebastian and Summer and Michael. They all have things moving in their case. Seems to be a lot going on right now. Oh, thank you, Duck Ross. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Hi, Joanne. There's just a lot going on. And sorry, I have a thing on my new computer where my messages come up, and for the love of me, you know me with technology, I do not know how to mute them. So forgive me if you hear beeps. Hi, Julie B. So there's so many children, and I want to start this by saying every one of the children missing in our world are important. Every parent suffering, we hear you. We're with you. Every empty chair, every bed that doesn't have someone in being tucked in at night, we understand. We don't know how to relate, many of us, but we're here for you. We have a dear friend in the chat today, Robin, who can relate, and today's been a tough day for her. Robin's little girl was taken from her many, many, many years ago at the age of 5. Thank goodness they caught the monster, and he's been behind bars. But now Robin deals with appeals for him trying to get parole because there's a new law out that if you were convicted of life before, while you were a minor prior to, you can appeal for parole. He had an appeal today. It has not been posted yet. We've been looking, we've been watching, and I am going to listen to it when I first get it, and then I'm going to bring it to you so we can support our friend Robin, because Robin knows what this is like all too well. And today I can feel all of your emotions in your comments and your emails. Some of your emails and comments today have absolutely brought me to tears. You have so much passion for these children, and I want to thank you. And Sebastian's Army, be kind to everyone. We just played the song you made for our channel, and we just love it. Everyone loves it. We're going to end with it tonight too. Sebastian Rogers, if you are new to Sebastian's disappearance, we welcome you. Thank you for joining us. Sebastian is an Amber Alert child from Hendersonville, Tennessee. He was 15 years old when he was reported missing on February 26, 2024. He was last seen at the Texas Roadhouse on February 25th, 2024, leaving with his mother, Katie Proudfoot. She claims that they went home alone together, were alone all night, the doors locked when they went to bed and locked when they woke up. And there are very few people with access to the home when it is locked. There have been allegedly no sightings of Sebastian. And apparently law enforcement has no signs of foul play, no signs that point to foul play, but they can't rule it out. So in my opinion, they got nothing. In my opinion, or nothing they're talking about. And they don't have to tell us everything. But I sure wish that they would raise awareness for this young man. The sheriff of Sumner County, where Sebastian is from, if you are new to the case, there was a sheriff that was originally sheriff in Sumner County when the case began. He was talking about the case, talking about it could possibly become a recovery shortly. The last search that was done on this for Sebastian was at the landfill in Kentucky. Sonny Weatherford was the sheriff then. He made a statement afterwards, the things that they found. What they found, they'll have to go analyze. Later on, you can't find that report. It says they found nothing. And Sonny, after he passed, and then there was a press conference April 2nd and of 2024 with Eric Craddock, the lead at the time. Sonny Weatherford was still the sheriff. And there was a press conference. So those things were going on when Sonny Weatherford was sheriff. Then Sonny Weatherford suddenly passed away, and there has been absolute silence from the new sheriff. And I can say that because we've all seen it. We're not making things up. Hi, Patty. We're not making things up. Okay. Oh, Deanna, thank you for your 7 months of support. You all are amazing. When we have ransoms coming in and he won't respond, I've called him personally on the phone once, and the minute Sebastian's name came out, he had a totally different persona and demeanor. I have spoken to locals who have entered the office to talk to Sebastian, and they are not treated with respect. The father of Sebastian, Seth Rogers, stood on a corner with a microphone trying to get Eric Craddock's attention and some help and awareness, and calling in the marshals, escalating it to federal agencies. He never came out, handed him a water, nothing, like he did the people who were protesting for the rapper prior to. He went out, thanked them for being peaceful, and gave them water. Seth is treated very differently. And that's not okay, because when you are in a position of authority, even if it's running a classroom and you don't like a kid, they should never know it, because you're still doing your job for them. And that's why I get so upset with Mr. Craddock. Okay, sorry. Amber Alert for Sebastian Rogers is still active. We have many updates today. I told you I had uncovered some things. And one thing, interestingly enough, what I was talking about, I'm still working on, but I'm allowed to share with you today something else I had uncovered a few months ago that has come out in an update. So this is going to be a little long of a show. It might be a little longer. We might hit, I don't know, but we're going to cover a lot of things today. And if I bounce around, I apologize. It's because I had a show ready about It's So Bad and our neighbor, who we're going to talk about as well. But there's a lot of updates about areas that I want to cover for you and what I know about those areas too. So if I jump around a little bit between, did I use the word? I don't mean to use the word suspect if I did. My persons of interest, which is what I'm going to share with you tonight, and the updates and the reason Springdale, Arkansas is so very, very, very important in my opinion. Springdale, Arkansas was just mentioned in a post by At Night. And first of all, I want to address one thing. Whether you love At Night or don't love At Night, whether we love Craddock or we don't love Craddock, we're all here for Sebastian. So let's remember that, okay? Let's keep it to where we respect each other. Our opinions, we can learn from it, okay? Now, the one thing I want to say about At Night and Dog the Bounty Hunter. Dog brings great awareness and celebrity to the case. You may not see him boots on the ground looking for Sebastian every day, but what you do see is their tip line rolling constantly and they respond. Many people are afraid to reach out to law enforcement because they may have things in their past that they don't feel comfortable with police. So that makes Dog's tip line golden for us. Second of all, At Night is investigating. At Night is surveilling. I do contact them when I find things. They contact me with questions, right? They're working. If we took, and some of you say, well, what does At Night know? Well, here's what I can share with you about that. We have a little boy who's missing almost 2 years now. We have a sheriff who went silent. He's wearing his own name on his shirt instead of Sebastian's while he runs against himself for sheriff. Okay. If we take At Night out of the equation, we are left with a silent sheriff and lead detective. They don't respond to tips. They don't respond to ransoms. They don't respond to emails. So we should all be thankful that there is another agency, whether they've uncovered something, whether no one's uncovered. Sumner County hasn't uncovered anything. They're still on day one because you know what? They never put the crime scene tape up. They never did the forensics. They didn't even manage to hit all the registered sex offenders in the area. The private eye found one they had not spoken to. That is 101 investigation when a child goes missing. You crime scene tape off the house. You treat it like a crime scene. You treat it like the child's missing, not a runaway. And you go to the homes of the RSOs. 50 days in, when we heard that audio of the PI talking to Chris and Katie, the one where they unleashed on her. If you missed that live or video, please go back and watch. And this person was letting them know, I want to help find Sebastian. They did not know that they said law enforcement's contacted all the RSOs. No, law enforcement has not contacted this one. So besides the belligerent exchange from the Proudfoots, instead of answering the door to the PI and saying, did you find him? Did you find something? Because I know if my child's missing and a PI comes to the door that I know has been hired to search and they come to my door, my first thing out of my mouth is, did you find him? What do you know? Not, you were standing on my property. I own that public easement. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And arguing about it. Most words she said since this case started, in my opinion. And I'm sorry, it's gross. So we need At Night and Dog because there ain't nothing going on. And I'm going to say it again, and I hate to say it because I think it's such a crude way to put it. But it really illustrates what's happening, in my opinion. There ain't nothing else going on in Sumner County except good old boy ass slapping. And I'm sorry to say it that way. So we need At Night because they're not there to please anyone. They're not there to turn away if they find information. They're there to find Sebastian. They don't have relationships in Sumner County. They don't have friends. They don't go to church with people there. They're just looking for Sebastian. There is no bias. There is no misconduct. There is nothing. They are looking for a child. And I would love to have Mr. Craddock come on our channel and talk to us about what's been going on. Give us a little update. And Mr. Craddock, we respectfully invite you, if you would like to give some sort of an update, to come on to our channel and let us know what's going on. We care. We're Sebastian's Army, and we would love to hear it. Because when you don't speak, everyone else starts filling in the gaps. So, hello, Kiki. Hello, G464, GA64. I always say that, G464. I don't know why. GA64. Hello, Nani, Pandies, Deanna D, everyone coming into the house. We are talking about Sebastian Rogers. Okay, so what I'm going to tell you is we're going to start with something I had uncovered a few months ago. Not the thing I was talking to you about that I uncovered yesterday, because with all this coming out, I had to jump on what I could tell you now about what I had uncovered before that I couldn't tell you. So back a few months ago, and when I say at night works, okay? Back a few months ago, I was contacted asking if I knew of any connections or anything about Sebastian in Springdale, Arkansas. I immediately responded with a name. That name being a Proudfoot. I'm just telling you guys now, because you know what? We need to get stuff out, right? Hi, Witchy Mama. Yeah, see something, say something. Darn right. Hi, Gina H. Yes, I'm bringing up all those updates today. Gina. There's lots of areas, but right now I'm going to talk to you guys about Springdale, and then I'm going to go into Chesapeake, and then we'll cover the other ones, because I know information about Springdale and Chesapeake off the top of my head. So I was contacted and asked if I had knew of any connections to Sebastian, family, friends, whatever, in Springdale, Arkansas. I said, yes, I do. I provided them with a Proudfoot name, which connected to another Proudfoot, connected to Chris Proudfoot. Okay. The reason this is important is we've been talking a lot along the way since Sebastian went missing in February. Could Sebastian and Summer Wells be connected? I believe they could be. Am I wrong? I absolutely could be. However, in Springdale, Arkansas, and if you'll notice from my post, I said Springdale, Arkansas is a hot spot, right, Chris Proudfoot? Right, Don Wells? Because Summer Wells family members have also been spotted there. I'm going to let that sink in for a second. So Sebastian has family members, Chris Proudfoot has family members that live there. Summer Wells' family has been spotted there. Okay? So as soon as I gave them that name, that opened the other name up to them that connected them to P-Foot, Dirty Foot. Okay? Now, what's even worse is in that area, we have a lot of little motels like Motel 6s, you know, those little travel motels that people stay at, right? Hi, The Real Me Too. And those are hot spots for ST. I'm really concerned that both families have presence in that town around those hotels, living around those hotels. What I will tell you is many of you have asked me, is there a relation between the two families? What I heard is there is possibly a relation, and they believe it's between Don Wells and Kathy B. Okay? I have not investigated that because they're all taking care of that. Christina, that's a great theory. I'll get to all your comments in a minute. I just read that. If you're in the bushes, welcome in. If I happen to comment on a comment that I didn't read out loud. I apologize. I'm doing my best to read them out loud to get them to you. So let's go ahead. So Springdale, Arkansas is indeed a hot spot. Indeed. And for those of you who say, let's get rid of at night, they're not doing anything. Well, I will tell you they're surveilling the area. So those areas that they put out updates on, they're not just throwing darts in the dark. They have a history ever since they came into the case as to reasons why they're looking at that area, but they're in that area. They're surveilling, they're looking, they're there. Okay. Hi, Casey, Chiefs for Life. Hi, Chicky. Oh, I forgot to say hi to Christy Smith too. Hi, Christy Smith. And another thing, the one thing I'm working on with you all too, that I wanted to release tonight, but I didn't get it all put together because all this started coming out, is I had told you I Googled when we were looking into the housing industry, and many names and houses were changing. Like originally when I first looked, a certain sheriff and his wife had 4 homes, 2, and then 2 went in her name, 2 in his. Then the next time I looked, I believe there were 2 homes, both in her name, and now, or 1 in one name, 1 in the other, and now there's 1 in her name. There's no way they live in that with their 3 kids. It's like a small little rental house. So the other ones are bye-bye. There are many people with real big houses for a public servant income. Shocking. Some live in homes, I mean, elite detectives in $800,000 homes. It's happening, my friends. Hi, Cinderella. And it does make sense because Chris Proudfoot has said some pretty crappy things. And when to know that he quotes Don Wells is unbelievable, because he knows how Don Wells has been received, being loaded all over YouTube and one story after another, like KP and CP. So to go on a public forum and say, well, why is everyone get mad when I say that? Don Wells says it. Oh my gosh. To put yourself in that category, you are who you hang with. You are who you associate with. And you are who you want to compare yourself with, in my opinion. Okay. So he says that. And then the similarities in the 2 cases. First of all, and this is where, and we're going to get to the Chris Carr thing. I promise. We're getting to Chris Carr and all of them. Oh, thank you, Maria S. You have no idea. Let me put my Cash App banner up. I never do this, but I'm going to today because some of you said you don't contribute through. Maria, thank you for that $9.99 donation. We appreciate all you do, Jay. Thank you so much, Maria. And I appreciate all of you and that very kind donation. Okay, so Summer, first of all, what I want to know, the first question I have, and is any of you are writing, hi, Lowly, good to see you. If any of you are writing these down, write them down, or if want to, write these down. One of the first questions I have that I noticed is, Candace took Summer the last day she was around, before she was reported missing hours later, on a super fun day, just her and Mom. The boys not included. They stayed home. The story was to clean the house for CPS, but we just found out CPS was supposed to come on the 14th, which is why they allegedly arranged this possibly for the 15th. They were going to come get Summer on the 13th for the drug debt that, this is all from Fred Hill, not confirmed, for the drug debt that her daddy owned. And she went on a fun day. Now, what I would like to know is, her mom also took photos that weren't given to the police. Write that down if you're writing things down. Because many of us think the photos that were taken for Sebastian were for S-tiers. Could that have been for Summer, which is why they weren't given to the law enforcement? Another question I have is, can Candace Bly produce photos from the weekend before or from the week before taking her out on a Sunday or on a big fun day? Or was that completely abnormal? And I'm going to ask the same thing about Katie Proudfoot. Katie was out there taking him. She said they went bowling. And then when everyone found out bowling had tournaments, she said they went to play video games. Now we find out they were there 10 minutes. Okay. Stories changing. But allegedly, the narrative, she took him out for all this fun stuff. She snapped pictures at Texas Roadhouse. He didn't look like he was having fun. He didn't look like he was having fun at the bowling alley. I'll show you a couple photos from there today in the updates. And so my question is this: can Katie Proudfoot produce photos from the week before of a fun day outing? Or is this unusual? Thank you, Dondi. Okay. Yes. Now, in both cases, after they got home from their Sunday fun days, the child disappeared. Only the mother present, the father's not. Grandis Summers' grandma says she was asleep in the trailer. She was not out there planting flowers. That's another thing. Candace's stories change. KP's story changed. And then we have two males in it who are kind of like wild cards. You never know what's going to come out of their mouth. Okay. Both children were given photos that made them look much younger and different. Both children were stated to be barefoot. Both children were with their mother, but the stepfather's the one who called law enforcement, and so did Don Wells. Both fathers, the stepfather and Don Wells, the father, neither of them were home, but they are the ones who control the narrative. To the point where we heard CP telling the PI, "You're not talking to Katie alone. No one is." Wow. That's a red flag. And then he goes as far to say, and we have an understanding with law enforcement too. They're not coming over here unless they notify us and we're both home. They're not talking to her. Oh my goodness. And then he says, safety in numbers. They have been in protection mode since the moment they reported him missing, in my opinion. We don't want our name out there. We don't want our house filmed. We don't want people on our property. You're not allowed to go on any of our family's properties. They have been in protection mode of themselves since they reported him missing, in my opinion. Now, my other question is that I would love to have seen KP protect Sebastian like she protected that public easement in that audio. Boy, if we saw that kind of mama bear for Sebastian, in my opinion, he'd still be here today, in my opinion. Because no one would have gotten to him regardless of who it was. Because if you can't step foot on a public easement that a public easement, by the way, that she claims she owns, the cities own them, that she claims she owns, my goodness, the way she was going at that. I own that. That's mine. That's mine. That's mine. I would love to have seen that for Sebastian. Because then whoever got to him, whether it's her or anyone else, but if it's anyone else, they wouldn't have, because she would have been a mama bear, right? Both in bare feet. Both parents had trouble communicating clothing. Let's see here. What else can I say that is so similar? Both from Tennessee. Both have lead detectives who don't talk about the case. Both have public information officers from TBI who rarely speak of the kids. Both have Amber Alerts that are not following Department of Justice guidelines for keeping their pictures, photos, and awareness out in the media. Even if you do not have investigative information that you can share, you share to people their picture and remind them they are not home. None of that is happening for either children. Don Wells went to jail 4 months after Summer was reported missing. I think he did 3 months in Ronnie Lawson, the sheriff's lockup. Ronnie Lawson had him there 3 months. And when he was asked if he interviewed Don about Summer while he was in jail, Ronnie Lawson, sheriff's answer was no. Summers' family was allowed to remodel the entire home, drywall, remove stairways, add things, you name it. What if evidence had been in there? Katie Proudfoot was allowed to clean her house head to toe. Now, maybe she did that from midnight till 6 a.m., allegedly. In both cases, the grandparents took off in an RV, a trailer. Hours, days within the children missing. Sebastian's step-grandparents, now one's a realtor, so if you're a realtor, you're your own boss. So if there's a business outing in Alaska and it was planned before your dear sweet grandson went missing, step-grandson, I don't care, he's your grandson, you can put that off because you're self-employed. You prioritize. Oh, thank you, Dancing Queen. I'm going to put that up there right now. And Summer's grandmother, who was on the property, she took off and headed to relatives in Wisconsin. Were either vehicles searched? I don't know. Why did they let them go? I don't know. Neither mothers have searched. Candace Wells, and I know I've told you guys this before because it has resonated to the depths of my soul. It has resonated to the depths of my soul, and I cannot let it go. And I forgot what I was going to say. That's so funny. I'm looking at the messages. Candace said when she was asked why she doesn't search for Summer, she was on one of her lives on her channel, and she says, "Oh, I do. Every time I drive down the highway, I'm looking right or left into what I can see. I'm searching for. You're going 60 miles an hour, 65, 70, wherever." That's her searching. KP hasn't searched. She said they were supposed to stick around the home, but they don't. They beat it to Mississippi within days. So if you can beat it to Mississippi, you can search boots on the ground in your neighborhood, Missy. Got it? In my opinion. The stepfather said, well, they don't want, this was in April, 3 months after Sebastian went missing. They don't want us searching because they want to get a hold of us. Oh, really? You got a cell phone in your pocket. They can call you. It's an excuse. You don't want to search, and you don't search, in my opinion, allegedly, and I'm not accusing, you don't search for something when you know its location. Both children have had a great disservice as far as people searching for them being threatened. Both mothers driving around with windows up. Thank you. Many people said they wish they could have just adopted Summer. People are saying that about Sebastian, but Sebastian has a father, you know. It's just, there's a lot of similarities with how law enforcement is or is not functioning in the case, how the families are functioning, and I'm leaving Seth out of this. In my opinion, Seth has absolutely 100% nothing to do with this. And I never thought he did. Okay. Both these families are functioning very oddly. Instead of searching, Candace, she started crying on Phil. She doesn't do interviews. You know that. She went to Dr. Phil and they asked her about the cornbread mafia in her area, you know, the rugs and the STing and all that going on. She starts crying, felt they were interrogating her, and walks off the stage. I mean, it's just unbelievable how much they're concerned of themselves when they got a baby, their own babies. They're not babies, but their own babies out there in the world somewhere, supposedly. So what I uncovered is I had Googled when all the housing stuff was weird, changing. Something made me think, because there's so many similarities to the two cases, I Googled if Ronnie Lawson owned a home in Sumner County. This was months ago. And the Google response came back and said he does indeed own a house in Sumner County. He lives in East Tennessee. Let me Google for you how many hours away. Hold on. a ways. Let me just say that because I got distracted. So why would now it gets better, my friends. Hi, Shining Star. Hi, Crystal Pistol, Passion Flower, Mama. Everyone coming into the house. Vivian, thank you for being here. Bo, hello. Why would the Summer of Sheriff from Somerstown own a home in Sebastianstown? And you say, well, Jay, anyone can buy a house anywhere. Absolutely. Sebastian went missing February 24th, and Ronnie Lawson's had a deed to Hawkins in Sumner County on March of 2024. It takes a little while to close on a property, usually, unless it's all cash. So it was either, I'm sorry, I find it fishy. I find it fishy. And we are now researching into that. So that is something I've uncovered. The sheriff has a house, has a deed. And there's been rumors from Sean Taylor, not rumors. He had investigated, had files on STing and drug teeing going on in there in Sumner County. He had said it was related to the Millersville motel sighting, which was really, was related to Sebastian, tied to Sebastian. His windows of his home were shot up, and he was threatened, and they took the files. Okay. So when we have things like that going on, and we have housing industry, the site keeps changing with who owns what. And then we find out he has a deed the month after Sebastian went missing. And I will get you the exact date, but I haven't gotten that far yet. Okay. I find that Sean Taylor said they're laundering money through the housing industry. They're giving favors and bids through the housing industry. So to me, that rings a red flag. That's a huge, hi show poodles, hi lover, not a fighter. That's a huge red flag that Lawson has a property in Sumner County the month Sebastian's gone. The month after. Hey, Castle. So let's go ahead. Let me talk to you a little bit before we get to the updates, because I told you a little bit about why Springdale was important. Okay, the families out there. They also put out an update to be vigilant about anything going on in Chesapeake, Virginia. Chesapeake, Virginia is where Sebastian's maternal grandmother lives. The registered SO, Katie's mom. So that's why that area. They've already been out there. Remember, they went out there, they searched the home, etc. But that area is still on alert. I'm going to share this tab with you. Actually, no, I'm not. Before we get into this, I want to go over some of the people, I think, because normally you have some sort of information, for instance, to the public. We don't know who this person is. They've come into our community. They've taken a child. That has never happened. Now, in my opinion, the reason Craddock and Carter won't say that is because if they do, I think we all know who we're looking at, in my opinion. He has never addressed that. We've never seen a profile of whom they might be looking for if it were a stranger. In my opinion, the reason being because if the profile they put out of whom it was, we know who we'd be looking at, my opinion. They've never put a composite sketch out of whom they saw getting into the sedan that the county commissioner shared with one of the locals, the sedan that pulled up. We see images. They could have gotten a composite and shared it with the public and said, we're looking for these people. And in my opinion, they haven't, because they know the people. And that's what everyone thinks because they haven't done it. So let's get into the people. First of all, it's so bad. We're going to talk about Mr. Chris Carr first. Let me get to my work. Sorry, guys, I didn't have it pulled up. We're going to get to Mr. Chris Carr first. And if you will pause for a second, I am going to, mods, thank you for being here. Hold on one second. I have something I want to share. No, it's not that. Okay, I don't know where it is. Okay, well, we'll just talk about it. So, for those of you who are unaware, Chris Carr is the neighbor that lives behind the Proudfoots. Let me pull up a map. I'm sure most of you know, but we're just going to pull this map up. So he lives right directly behind them. Sorry, I should have been prepared. I don't know why my maps is being so weird. Hold on, y'all. My maps is acting up. Sorry, y'all. Hi, Bugsy. Hey, Texas Plain Jane. Hey, Gina, for you, eh? Okay. Chris Carr lives directly behind the Proudfoots. Okay. My internet is really slow, y'all. I don't know what's going on, but my maps is scrolling. So I'm going to keep talking to you while I wait for that to pull up. He lives directly behind the Proudfoot. So his backyard faces their backyard. Hey, Elaine, Gigi too. Hi, Truth for Us. He has 7 sophisticated cameras on his yard. They have night vision and audio. And yes, I sent Brandon Carter the audio because when I played it, he wanted a copy of it. You don't want a copy of something if you don't think something went on in the backyard, in my opinion. Hi, Tracy. So his backyard faces the Proudfoots. Let's see if the maps came up. I don't know why my internet's so slow. I don't know what is going on. Let me close out maps. And the neighbors were asked, well, there's a whole story about him. So let's just get it on here. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Now I can show you. Okay. Share this tab instead. For those of you new to the case, let me enlarge it a little bit more. What I'm talking about is, this is Sebastian's home. This is C. Carr's home. Okay. His backyard faces Sebastian's backyard. He has 7 sophisticated cameras that are night vision and capture audio. When Sebastian went missing and dispatch was out there, and by the way, he is a Hendersonville police part-time motorcycle cop. Part-time. When they went out there in the morning, and law enforcement was starting to look around, they were on with dispatch, and right in the first minutes, they already had Chris Carr with them in the car driving around. Hendersonville part-time motorcycle cop. Second of all, hold on, let me enlarge this. Like I said, he has night vision and audio. All the neighbors were asked to submit their footage. He was the only one who did not do so in the neighborhood group. He said he didn't have anything, but he didn't even comment. He just didn't do anything. So you're a cop, and you know that they're trying to organize everyone to everyone to put things together for this search. You would be the one person who would diligently, with integrity, submit yours because you know the importance of the process. That did not happen. He then was at the command post looking at the footage with everyone else, I'm sure, because that on Tuesday night, they were looking at the footage day one, I was told. Tuesday night, when he left the neighborhood vigil, he was asked by some of the locals before he left, so you were at the command post, so what's going on? He teared up and said, it's bad. It's so, so bad. And he left. What does he know? Craddock says there's nothing that supports foul play. There's nothing. They don't know who took him. They don't know what happened. But we got the cop riding around with the police in the morning, and he's telling the neighbors, it's bad. It's so, so bad. He's looking at the footage. Second of all, he has a white Ford pickup truck. In a lot of the surveillance, we see a white pickup truck. Am I saying it's his? No. Am I saying it could be? Yeah. There's one at the Texas Roadhouse. He also has a red sports car. Remember, we were looking at the back end of the red sports car in one of the scenes that I shared with you. I thought it was the Motel 6 Camaro again. And by the way, for my people who are working, who like to work on that, I'm not ignoring you, and I'm about to email you about that, okay? So he's, we thought that was the vehicle, but someone else looked at it and said it looked like it might be a Charger. See, Carr has a red Charger sitting right in his driveway and a gray four-door sedan. I have a pic of it. I have a pic of them sitting in the driveway. His kid owns the four-door gray sedan, the kid that many of you thought looked like Green Hoodie. He has a four-door gray sedan. But what I will, and the red sports car. What I will tell you is, it was Green Hoodie, according to Texas Roadhouse, or wherever we heard it. I think the redacted stuff we read was a woman and went into the woman's bathroom. I think Green Hoodie looks quite a bit like KP's mother. And I think that's what keeps leading them back to Chesapeake, to Virginia. Hi, Julie. I just can't wait for the Lord to serve justice on CP and KP. If they are responsible for Sebastian going missing, then they need to face the music now, and the Lord can have his turn. Absolutely. Great comment. Nicey Marie says, in my opinion, his camera is the flashlight video, not the house on the end. However, I did talk to a source who knows the people on the end and saw the footage on their from their house, went over there and saw it. The house with big light doesn't have a big light. I think Carr owns video they was showing and wonder how they got it so bad. I'll look back at it. I will look back at it. Thank you, Nicey. Okay, not only that, it's rumored he and KP are friends. And you know what I mean by that. Okay. So, sorry, y'all. Did I lose you or just the map? Okay, good. Just the map. Sorry. I'm a technical mess today, aren't I? But I want to keep showing you something. Okay. So here's their homes right here. Here's the corner. Am I sharing this tab? No. Okay. Here's their homes. Here's the car went up here, turned around a little bit before 3 a.m., according to my sources, stopped. They thought it was either right before Carr's home or right after Carr's home and let some people out with flashlights. Continued on to the corner. We saw then the flashlights going through here. Now look, he would have picked this up. Nicey, I'm going to check on your theory. That's interesting. And then they pulled up here, probably going, like I said, I think they were using the ditch a little bit. And then they backed up Kellen and off they went. What's interesting is if C. Carr, let's just say he was out there. Remember the flashlight that we said was always like the lookout? What if Carr was the lookout flashlight standing over here by his house, kind of in the area of his home? And that's why that third flashlight we didn't see in the action, it just went right back to the home. It makes sense to me. Alleged. We're just theorizing, speculating, not accusing anyone. So, oh, sorry, you guys. So another thing that's really shocking is, hi, Bo. Thank you for your support for 3 months and blessings. It's good to see you. Thank you for your support for 9 months. Another thing that's suspicious, in my opinion, about him is, do you all remember when it kind of makes sense, right, Caroline? Why didn't that other flashlight come into the mix and all that? Well, I think because it was standing over by his home area in between those two homes. And when all was said and done, that flashlight went back to the home on Kellen, in my opinion. And the other one went back to Stafford Court. That's just my opinion. So do you all remember when KP was knocking on doors looking for footage on the neighbors? And it was well after, I mean, Sebastian had been missing a while, like 10 months maybe. And maybe 8 to 10 months. And suddenly she was real interested and started knocking on neighbors to see their footage. And one neighbor got scared, called law enforcement, and they said, you know, they ended up going to a hotel. I guess if you feel unprotected, that's what you do. Another neighbor went and called law enforcement, and they said, well, are they on your property? No, but it's scary. They're going, you know, to different houses. Well, let us know if they get to your property, if they step on your property. So they didn't feel safe, so they called in a private security. Also letting all of the neighbors know, because of what was going on, that there was going to be a car in the neighborhood because they were scared. All the neighbors knew this. It went into their neighborhood group. Lo and behold, C. Carr went up there and started harassing the guy. Get out of here. Why wouldn't he want his neighbors to feel protected? Hi, Joyful Dolphin. Yeah, the dark green. Oh, yeah. So I'm tonight making my persons of interest list with you because we haven't had composites. We haven't had profiles. We haven't had anything appealing to the public, vehicle descriptions. And so I think I'm just going to go for it with y'all. So I have C. Carr down. To me, he is a person of interest. Do I say he's a person of interest? No, he's one of mine. CP, I think, is a person of interest, or should be. He's got a big mouth, my opinion, and he doesn't use it for good. He uses it to insult people, to threaten people, to harass people, in my opinion. He's rude. If he would open that big flapper as much as he does and talk for Sebastian in a positive way, it would help. But he's incapable. And I will tell you this. He thought his alibi was going to start at 5:30 in the morning, which is why he said his fanny was sitting in the crane. He never thought they were going to reverse back to the night before. And he, in my opinion, didn't have an alibi, which is why we heard that ridiculous person who sounded half loaded, in my opinion. I'm not accusing, I'm just saying sounded, saying he drove by and saw CP there that night at the RV park. That's not an alibi. That's not an alibi. CP can accept Seth's record from the actual jail that he was there. That's not good enough, but we're supposed to accept some guy calling saying, I saw him there. Give me a break. CP's on my list, especially since he told Elevated Truth that they had 2 phone pings and those a-holes didn't, or 2 pings into the neighborhood that night, and those a-holes didn't know one of them was his truck. That's what Elevated Truth said. He said, I believe him because why would he lie? The only person, if I have to put Chris Proudfoot up against Elevated Truth, and I don't know either of them, I'm going to choose Elevated Truth's word over Chris Proudfoot's because he has many conflicting statements. Many. Hi, Minnie. Oh, nice. He says, how is he working part-time in that nice house? Mm-hmm. Oh, nicey. Look up some of the prices of some of the homes some of the Sumner County people own. I mean, I've never seen a detective own like an $800,000 home. Young detective. Yes. We be kind to everyone. Everyone is getting married in 2 days. Yay, our friend is getting married. We are so happy for you, my friend. So Chris Carr and Chris Proudfoot definitely to me should need to be, if we can get someone in here, an agency that will come out of Sumner County. The county commissioner said, if you want it solved, you got to take it out of Sumner County. My statement to them is you take it out of Sumner County. You're an elected official serving the county. You do it. You so afraid of Craddock you can't do it? You do it. Disgusting. And yes, I'm still have a live coming about misconduct in the commission and all over Sumner County. But how dare they sit there and talk about sedans and flashlights, those commissioners, that they saw on footage, and whisper to certain friends, you're safe, don't worry. It's random, and not tell the whole public. Well, you're going to be exposed for that because it's coming. So either you're going to start speaking up for what you know, or I'm going to start speaking out about what you know. Because if your kid were if you were sitting in your home not tucking your children into bed, you would want someone to speak up. So shame on you, county commissioners of Sumner County. And you know who I'm talking to. You know who you are. You know who was at the command post. And they're not all men. There we go. County commissioners, I feel they need to be talked to. There's a few of them. Not because they have anything to do with it, but because they have knowledge. They watched the footage. There is a TBI agent who said where he is not coming back from. He needs to be spoken to. That is knowledge. That was the first day. How can we have a sheriff who's got nothing? No foul play, can't rule it out, hasn't shown composites, hasn't brought up persons of interest, vehicles, suspects. He got nothing. But yet his county commissioners looked at footage with sedans on it, flashlights, told people, you're safe. Sebastian was targeted and taken. We got a TBI agent day one saying where he is, he's not coming back from. But yet Craddock's head's in the clouds. He's got nothing, according to him. Katie Proudfoot absolutely needs to be a person of interest on my list because she does not know how to tell the truth. The truth doesn't change. She was home alone with him, allegedly. Allegedly, she took him straight home. I do not believe that. I believe she pulled over. And if you want my theory, I'm going to tell you my theory. Wow, I was going to save this one. I'm going to share it with you guys. Do you remember when Chris Proudfoot said, you know, CPS was called and he got in trouble taken outside and said, if you're going to tell mistruths and not the truth on people, you're going to get in trouble, Sebastian. Remember that one? That was right before Chris started not coming home. And Chris finishes that story with, and he came in and we ate dinner and I said, see? And he said, everything was okay. He thought he was going to get me kicked out of my own home. And when you have small mentality people, they would do the same to a child, in my opinion. And that's what I think. On top of it, he doesn't help with the investigation. Katie Proudfoot did not want to work with Dog the Bounty Hunter. I don't care if a ladybug with 12 million followers comes to you. I'd take the help. Nope, don't want him. Nope, we don't want flyers at the Pig Fest. Nope, we don't want Dog the Bounty Hunter. Nope, we don't want to cooperate with the PI. Remember the one audio we listened to? Every time the PI tried to get a timeline from them of where they went, when they went, how long, it was all ballparks. Sebastian, according to Chris Proudfoot, took out the trash somewhere between getting home and going to bed. He's not helpful. But yet we keep hearing the mouth, don't we? We keep hearing the mouth. The legs can't move to go search, but they can go do everything else. And the mouth can't say anything positive about Sebastian, but he can sure as heck run it about everyone else. He is in my list, he is one of my persons of interest. So is Katie. She can't tell the truth. Only a few people could get into that home, and they are on my list too. The DA, I feel, knows something, which is why he left after 4 decades, spur of the moment, gave 3 weeks notice, never managing to get Chris Proudfoot in front of the grand jury for alleged child abuse, or Katie Proudfoot for lying. Any of the above, anyone responsible for Sebastian, because we don't know who it is. We have our assumptions. Thank you, Minnie. You're so sweet. We're having a membership, members live Saturday. And if you receive the Crime Time Buzz membership from Minnie, please thank Minnie. Minnie, that's very generous. Thank you. The DA. There's some knowledge there, in my opinion, because he got the heck out of the hot kitchen. Apparently, the new DA is real close friends with the family, apparently. And instead of waiting till the election so the people could vote, they appoint someone, and then that person usually gets in. It's dirty. Minnie says, match or raise me. Teach works hard for the kids. Oh, thank you, Minnie, for your $2. I appreciate it. Match or raise Minnie if you want to. Andy Gilley, Director of Park and Rec. In my opinion, he needs to be spoken to. He knows something. He had lunch with the P-Foots. He had sponsors at his event. And he supported flyers not being passed out for a missing child. And boy, oh boy, does he resembles personality-wise a certain dirty foot. I just think he needs to be talked to. I don't think he had anything to do with Sebastian missing, but I think now he may have knowledge. He rubs elbows with these people. Mama Socks, 100 absolutely needs to be spoken to. In my opinion, I have had so many locals who said they saw her outside Warsham's between 5 and 5:58 a.m. Show Poodles has matched you. Thank you, Show Poodles. And Show Poodles says, thank you, Jay. Thank you, my friend, for that sweet, generous donation. I know the holidays are coming up, you all, so I really appreciate that. Thank you. She was outside Warsham's. Now, before Sebastian was reported missing. Now, if I'm going to drive 25 miles at 5 a.m., allegedly, I'm going to go to my son's home, not sit in the neighborhood down the street from the high school where mom allegedly went to go look. And you can go out the other side entrance of the high school like I showed you, and guess where you are? Right at the storage units where the dog hit on Unit 10 numerous times. She also was one of the ones who went with Chris to go get his RV. She's also one who went out of town shortly after. I think we got another one. You guys someone raised you. Matched and raised for the kids. Hit like and share. Thank you, Be Kind to everyone, and thank you for the $3. You saved those pennies for your honeymoon. I'm so excited to hear all about it. No, Caroline said CP didn't treat Sebastian right from the beginning. A guy like him preys on people, in my opinion. Yes. And he called him Mr. Chris. I doubt Faith calls him Mr. Chris. He says he treats Sebastian like his own. Well, does his own call him Mr. Chris? I'd love to hear that one. Hi, Valley Gal. Hi, Patty. I believe there's a lot too. That's why this is a long list. But CB, absolutely. I think they took the RV back from Mississippi, took it to the storage unit, picked up what was in the storage unit, took the RV to the Stinky Socks house, and took the Stinky Socks RV to the Proudfoot home. The Stinky Socks took the RV out. One of them took the RV out to Oregon, in which what's their last name? Is it Baumgartner? Whatever their last name is. Katie's family starts with a B. For some reason, it just escaped me. Sold it on Facebook Market on April 22nd in Montana. I think they did a little switcheroo. And did investigators go with them up to Mississippi? No. Why not? Wouldn't you want to know why the stepfather was taking off hours after his missing child? Because you can call RV parks that you stay at and say, I have a family emergency. I'm going to give you my credit card and cover for a couple of days. Well, now he says, I was going to lose my job, so I needed to go get my RV. No, you didn't. Your RV wasn't parked on St. Jude's. Your RV was at an RV park. Just because you lose your job doesn't mean you need to lose your supposedly distraught wife and take your mother and one other individual. So all of her support left and spent the night. And he says, well, it takes a long time to pack up an RV. I've had 2. No, it doesn't. We pack it up in 2 to 3 hours and we're on the road. Not even 2 to 3 hours. It doesn't even take that. So it's a bunch of malarkey that either the investigators have swallowed, the Boy Scouts have swallowed, or looked away. And I am telling you this, if they let the stepfather go all the way to Mississippi and they didn't follow, boy, is that going to be a contention when this case gets to trial. So her husband, and also the fact that the glasses, that pair of glasses was found 3 or 4 homes away from Stink Socks in their neighborhood. The hidden cemeteries in their neighborhood. The silos are in their neighborhood. Why would glasses that look so similar to Sebastian's be 3 houses away from their home? Why did Craddock never take it and have the prescription checked to see if it was Sebastian's before he told the public they were not Sebastian's? There's a lot of reasons I look at her, in my opinion. Also, her connection to Freedom Church. Is it Freedom? Her husband. I mean, are words needed? Well, we'll talk about his past is shady. Many of you know about it. I don't want to say it out here on the public lines. I don't feel it's my place. Yeah, I wonder if CP bought his mommy a ring. What was that for? Why did she stand there that day in the kitchen telling Chris Proudfoot, her son, what jewelry she wanted? Why was he buying mama jewelry? Why are we worrying about jewelry when there's a child missing? TB's the one who was following Betty. He fibbed about that. The way the employees say he spoke about Sebastian, calling him an R and an M. Neither of them, they took all their grandchildren to Disneyland, but wouldn't take Sebastian because you know how he gets, he's hard to handle. And of course, we didn't have a mother who went along so Sebastian could have that experience too. Bet she wishes she did now because it may have been his only chance. Big time with the Stinky Socks and all their rental houses and all their properties. And another reason I look at CB is she has many properties in her name. They change, she gifts them, she moves them, and she has many, many, many aliases. If you're trying to look her up, you're looking up Kathy B. You're looking up Maddie Kathy B. You're looking up Maddie Kathy Guy. You're looking up Catherine. It's it's unbelievable. Still has her name on one of the homes that supposedly sold, that she is the occupant there too, in Gallatin. And she has access to the home. Apparently, according to sources, CB is one of the ones who can get into the home when it's locked. The TBI agent who said where he is, he's not coming back from. If we can get the investigation out of Sumner County, I think they need to speak to him and ask him what he meant day one. How he knew that day one, what he knew. Why are they acting like this is such a big question mark? When you got a county commissioner saying a sedan pulled up, flashlights got out, it wasn't random, he was taken. Don't worry, y'all, you're safe. Whispering it, not telling the whole public, just certain people, friends, the good old boy system going on there. Okay? Makes no sense, but I think the TBI agent should be asked what his statement meant. I think Eric Craddock should be spoken to if this goes up out of county, because he ignored the ransom. He ignored threats to Sebastian's life. He's ignored emails. Same with Brandon Carter. They've been rude to the father. Brandon Carter has not told the truth to the father. Seth has caught him in lies. We heard that on the news. They both need to be looked into, in my opinion. The guy at Motel 6 in the red Camaro, absolutely. I know they cleared him. I know we're going through this whole thing, but I think they need to watch his movements. And I'm not going to say anything more about that right now for my own reasoning. I think you know what I'm saying. Laura and John, persons of interest to me. KP's best friend, Lori, her husband, John. I find it very interesting that she was in town the weekend her friends. I find it interesting, first of all, she was at the house when Seth arrived. Her husband wasn't there and her son wasn't there. My concern is the husband was there and took off with both boys. Was asked to take off with both boys. Allegedly, in my opinion. I think she needs to be looked at. Why was she there that weekend, that very weekend that Sebastian went missing? Now, we've heard she was there for the weekend. We heard she's arrived Monday. We've heard lots of things. Why was she on Stafford Court the following Sunday or following summer staying there? Interesting. Yeah, they need to be spoken to by law enforcement, in my opinion. All the registered sex offenders should be contacted. Thank goodness the PI Heather Seth had hired found one and spoke to them that Sumner County hadn't talked to. And she went and spoke to Tim Bailey, and he told her, go ahead and continue. They didn't hit all the RSOs. What's the first thing you do with a missing kid? We're not investigators, and we know. You clear the parents, whoever was last with them, the family, and you check the RSOs. They didn't do it. All those RSOs need to be rechecked. I don't think that's the issue going on here, but it still needs to be checked. Green Hoodie. No, I don't think Green Hoodie's deceased. No, I don't think Green Hoodie's the one they interviewed. It does not impress me when FBI added to their comment, and they even had on the same sweatshirt when they interviewed. I don't care. I'll go buy a sweatshirt. Does that mean I was Green Hoodie? That's ridiculous. Let's get some investigative skills going. It's getting ridiculous. And what about the guy staring at Sebastian while he ate? I remember Jen Coffindaffer bringing that up, and we hadn't seen it yet. But when I laid eyes on that guy, he looks like a mean SOB, in my opinion. Am I saying he was involved? No, but am I saying if someone's staring at a child minutes before they go missing, they should be spoken to? Heck yeah. There's a lot of people, my friends, in my opinion. And that is scary to me. And I also think there's a lot of people in Summer's case involved. I do believe Summer Wells was trafficked, or she paid her daddy's debt, whatever. But TBI, like I've told you before, they had her name connected to a trafficking study. And when I compared it to other Amber Alert children, they weren't connected to trafficking studies. They were connected to ones relevant to them, like African Americans, one African American baby, things like that. So I do believe they think she was trafficked. I find it very interesting that the lead detective keeps wanting to convince us she was eaten by a bear. And I am not kidding. And if you go watch him, you can only see one interview. Maybe I'll share it with you next time we do Summer. You'll see one interview with him, and boy, he's going to remind you of the Sumner County guys. And I'm not kidding. You're not going to believe it. Oh, I have a new member, Hannah Lemo. Welcome to the family, and thank you for supporting the channel. We will be meeting for a members live this Saturday. Okay. Valley Gal is asking a question. Does anyone know if CC is from Tennessee or somewhere else? Great question. I don't know because he has his Facebook. I'm either blocked or it's locked down. So I don't know. I do know that his son graduated from high school there. I can look on the records on Zillow and see. Let's look right now and see when they bought the house. That's another thing. He had his house up for sale. And then he took it down after Sebastian went missing because all this was going on. But someone came in and made him a nice offer, and he turned it down. Didn't like who it was. He had an RV on his property, too, that looked a lot like CP's the night Sebastian went missing, and I pray to God law enforcement forensicked that. But if they didn't even forensic the house, I doubt they went to the neighbors and forensicked. Let me get on to Zillow for you, and I will tell you when he bought the house. I don't think he owes anything on it. We all know so much about this stuff. Okay, let me put the address in there. Thank you all for joining me tonight. I just love spending time with you. And I'm sorry it's the content it is, but I'm glad we've got an army. Okay, it's off market, 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, 1,938 square feet. He has a refi payment. Oh, no, if he refis, we know his payment. If you want to give a cash offer, you'd give him about $617,000. Is it not going to tell us? Usually it tells you like when it was interesting. Usually it tells you the tax information on the home. It tells you when it was last purchased. Here we go. I was going to say, whoa. Okay. It was purchased. That's not on there. Interesting, you all. I'll have to go on Zillow when I'm not on my phone. Well, his taxes go significantly down. 2022, he paid $396,000. 2023, he paid $99,000. 2024, $158,000. That's interesting. That was the assessments on the property. Excuse me. How the properties change so much. How can you assess a property? Listen to this one, you all. In 2021, his property is assessed at $396,000. In 2022, his property is assessed at $396,000. In 2023, it's assessed at $99,000. And then it went back up to $158,000 in 2024. Something is not right. See what I mean? Every time you look at it, there's something weird going on. But why would the value of his home drop $300,000 in 2023 and then go up $58,000 in 2024, but still $150,000 less than the initial few assessments? Someone giving him a deal, in my opinion, allegedly. Getting a little tax deal, in my opinion, allegedly. Okay, let's go to the updates, my friends. Oh, so Valley Gal, it doesn't say when he purchased it, but as of 2021, they owned it. But I will go back and see. We can pull a deed too and see when that was purchased. So if you will email me that question at crimetimebuzz@gmail.com, I'm happy to find out that information for you, Valley Gal, if I can. If they haven't somehow, some way. Hi, Doodle Mom. I didn't see you in here. Hey, Brenda Sue. Hi, don't be a drag, just be a queen. Love it. Everyone in here, T-Bird, Deborah Bennett, Joanne McNeil, always a pleasure. Wild Wolf, Becky, hey. Everyone in the bushes, hello. Hello, Janet. Our new member, Hannah M.O. And if I haven't said hello to you, welcome in. Hey, One Law. Okay. I love this statement At Night put out because it's so true. And this is what I say. If any of these people's children were missing, let's say Craddock or Carter or one of the commissioner's children were missing, would they be sitting in their home accepting that people saw things on footage but didn't want to talk? Would they be in their home sitting there going, oh, they're doing a great job? No, they wouldn't. Do you think that if one of their children were missing, we would see a complete different investigation? I do, in my opinion, because I'm going to say it again, and it's not the best statement, but it's the truest I can come up with. In Sumner County, you got the good old boy ass slapping going on, okay? And that's what's happening. And I know it's a terrible way to put it, but I don't know how else to put it. I mean, that's what's happening. So if you're in the good old boy system and your kid goes missing, in my opinion, you're going to get it all. Everyone's going to be out there looking. But not if you're not. Oh, yes, he's very sus, in my opinion. Thank you, sweetie, for your donation, Cece. And you said you were late, and we're just glad you made it, my friend. Cece is sus, in my opinion. Mine too. Mine too, in my opinion. Okay, At Night put this out. What ifs are like, and thank you for your sweet donation, Cece. At night are like, or what ifs are like dreams. This is from At Night. Today, what if my child were kidnapped? Tomorrow, a 6-year-old vanished overnight. But don't forget, dreams do come true, for good and bad. If you see Summer Wells or Sebastian Rogers, please call 911. There is a $500,000 reward for Sebastian and a reward money for Summer as well. I'm going to pull something up for you real quick. I have a phone call with Dog the Bounty Hunter here that I'm going to share with you. And this is about an alleged sighting of the kids. And I want to read it to you. It is heavily redacted. So you'll just hear me say redact and I'll go on. I'm not going to say hidden and all that. You guys know what redact is. So I'm going to read this to you. This was sent to me. I asked for some updates. So here we go. Okay, so Dog's on the phone. He says aloha. And then, all right then. And we're not getting names of anyone except Dog, just so you know, because this is someone giving a tip. Okay, this is someone giving a tip of a sighting. And you might be in the house. I think I saw you in the chat. All right then. So essentially, that is definitely interesting to say the least. Thank you. Okay, bye. All right, thanks. So what we found so far in both these cases, here's Dog talking now. Our Sebastian Rogers, we got on board in early September. But, technically late August 20th. That case so far, so we had 3 tips that we put, not as clear and not as debunked. but on a back burner as we don't effing know if they're legit. And they include 2 blank, separate, redacted, and to place a redacted restaurant. All 3 tips from different people, 2 are female. They haven't cleared these tips. So what we're seeing here is they had 3 tips they put on back burner because they didn't clear them. They didn't debunk them. They were 3 different people. 2 were female. 2 include blank, separate blank, and to a blank restaurant. Okay. And I know it's confusing. One of the persons was male. They all have the same information. So you got 2 females and a male that's being called about. They all have the same information. So 3 different tipsters have the same information. The male saw a blonde woman with a young girl that resembled Summer Wells. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say where this, hold on. I'm not sure if let me see something. 1 second. Let me see if I'm allowed to say location. Okay. So the man saw a blonde woman with a young girl that resembled Summer Wells. Are you ready for this, my friends? And a boy that responded to the name of Sebastian. Oh, sorry. Sorry, y'all. I'm just trying to find out some info. Okay. I'm going to repeat that again. The male saw a blonde. Okay. The male saw a blonde woman with a young girl that resembled Summer Wells and a boy who responded to the name Sebastian. At 12:35 in the conversation, it said from there, they were in the meat department getting for food for a trip back in April. A week goes by and they are seen at a restaurant getting food. When the tipster goes to approach Sebastian and the little girl, the heavier woman, and then Dog says, and the man shield the kids and the other kids come out and shield Sebastian and Summer, who we believe is Summer. So let's go back over that again. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, you guys. Hold on 1 second. This is something important. So the male saw a blonde woman with a young girl who resembled Summer Wells. A boy responded to the name Sebastian. They went to the meat department. They were getting food for a trip back in April. A week goes by. They're seen at a restaurant getting food. The tipster goes to approach Sebastian and the little girl. So apparently, the heavier woman and the man shield the kids, and the other kids come out and shield Sebastian and Summer, who we believe is Summer, the person says. And that's when we put out a couple of weeks, and that's when we had put out a couple of weeks ago maybe a month ago, if anybody knows any connections between the Wells family and the Proudfoot family, because they actually are distant relatives. Bingo. There you go. They are cousins, the family. Blank mother is a blank mother's mother. Let's figure that one out. Chris's mother is I don't know, but they are family. They are cousins, the family. I wonder who that's saying, but there's relation. So his grandmother is related as a cousin to, or not Sebastian, to go back. So his grandmother is related as a cousin to, or not Sebastian, to go back. There are many people in that family. So they're distant relatives. They are cousins. The family, blank mother, or redacted mother, is a redacted mother's mother. So maybe Don's mother is CB's mother's mother, or CB's mother is Don's mother's mother. Who knows? So his grandmother is related as a cousin to Sebastian, to go back. So there are many people in that family. Hold on. Okay. Let's talk about that for a second. So this is a tip. They didn't tell us, they redacted the restaurant. This is a tip. We don't even know where it was. And we don't know where it was. And the people. Okay. I'm going to turn my ringer off so I can see it, but you all aren't hearing. Oh, it's that one on the computer, isn't it? Okay. So in my opinion, yes, Gina H., that's why CP keeps comparing himself. Well, when they did this, no one got, So this is concerning. The child responded to the name Sebastian. So let's keep going. Okay, so they're related, is what they're distant cousins. She and he's the I don't know if you know much about blank person of interest, and is related to Don and Candace Wells. They tried to scrub their Facebooks, and this is about a month ago, after we made that little post about them being related. And then another tip comes in for a blank, redacted, near redacted. Where it's the same stuff, a couple with many children. So this tip is a couple with many children. And when the tipster approached the other kids came out as well with the man and surrounded Summer and Sebastian. One child, okay, wait, I'm sorry. And they have many children with them. One child responded to the name Sebastian. The other girl was very quiet, but they were playing with each other on like Game Boys and stuff like that. So it's a very, very, very likely chance of we have a good chance of finding evidence in blank. Redacted. That's going to be a location. There's a lot of players in redacted that relocated from Tennessee to redacted. And it's just at this point, this is probably the first credible tip that we have seen. And then it says the match, which is very, very, very high. So somehow there's some sort of a match, which is very, very, very high. We don't know everything they're talking about. If you can get the raw footage, that would be immensely helpful to visit, because it has blank and stuff. We can run the redacted with. We believe we might know at least who there are. 3 women that have the same exact description. The one has okay, on her ankle, same everything else. The other one has, I'm not sure. The other one has, I'm not sure about her tattoos. So that leads me to believe up above it said the one has a tattoo on her ankle. The other one, I'm not sure about her tattoos, but her name is blank. Redacted. I believe I'll send you photos of her. And then the third is redacted, who is a child Rapist, and she is the cousin of redacted heavy drug user. I'm just trying to look. At the end of the day, all of both Summer's case and Sebastian's have one common denominator, and that is, how do I put this? Redacted. What do you all think that common denominator could be? And at the end of the day, all of both Summer's case and Sebastian's have one common denominator, and that is, how do I put this? Blank. Yes, Rose has a tattoo of a cherry on her ankle. Yes, she sure does. Mm-hmm. A heavy woman. I mean, it does sound like Katie's family, and I'm not accusing, but Kitty Cat, you are right. So what do you guys think the common denominator is? ST ring. Okay. Some of you thought mothers who don't search. But let's keep going. And I hadn't looked at this before. So, and the fueling of misinformation, that's what they've done. So they're fueling misinformation is what they're saying they've done. They put out so many bad leads that they have sent people in the wrong direction. People have made deep fakes or AI. They used Photoshop, for example, something simple to change appearances, or people and say there's a redacted in a state where there's not. A sighting, probably. Redacted, when we say that Sebastian is alive, it pisses off a certain amount of people, and that is very rather interesting. So there definitely is I'm not going to say it, it's 100% her, but the chances are high enough where people will probably really slow docs. Doesn't make sense. So if I were you, that comment that you'd put where you live, like you said, I'm from blank, redacted, I'd just delete that. So they're telling her to take out where she lives for her tip, just in case. Yeah, just so less people know. Okay. But for some reason, I don't know. If you Google, or I'll send you a link to a press release that we did, because we just filed a major recall action against people involved in Sebastian's case. So we know who that is. And it'll explain to you what they do to, and that's the end of the document. So there is someone who cited them both together, allegedly. Not the first time I've heard that. Jennifer, I don't think he was kidnapped. Hi, Misty Moonlight. It's been a while. So good to see you. Hi, WJ Johnson, Carla H.H., Jennifer. Summer has been missing since June 15th of 2021. She also has an active Tennessee Amber Alert. Very little awareness coming from TBI, lead detective, sheriff. Sheriff is now moving. Summer's sheriff has a deed that he received the month after Sebastian went missing, that he has a deed to a home in Sumner County now. And I find that really suspicious. Right after Sebastian went missing. I'm telling you, because of what Sean Taylor said about the housing industry, it makes me really, really worry. Let me get this off our screen. So let's go to their updates so the what ifs are like dreams. Absolutely. What if it was their kid, y'all? What if it was their kids? So this is the area that they're talking about. Is this Springdale? We'll bring it up first. Yes. Oh, let me share the screen with you. Sorry, okay. So let's read Oh my goodness. I don't know what my problem is today. Sorry, y'all. This was 6 hours ago. And this is 6 hours ago, and it says, "We received credible intelligence on a rolling basis from this region regarding both Sebastian and Summer Wells, including the fake tips from motels attempting to divert our resources elsewhere. If you're staying at any motel in this region, please look out for children who may be in distress or alone." And we are talking about the Springdale, Arkansas area. And that's the area that I told you we do have Proudfoots living in, and some Wells family has been sighted there. Okay. So you've got, look at all these hotels that are of a concern. Super 8. The Super 8. I think they have a Motel 6, a Holiday Inn Springdale, Town Place Suites. So keep an eye if you're traveling to any of these places in Fayetteville, North, or Springdale. Please keep an eye out for Sebastian, for Summer, or any child in one of those motels, because STs love those motels. And if you see children who don't seem to know the family they're with, they don't have a lot of luggage, they seem in distress, please call 911. They probably have been trafficked. Springdale, Arkansas, like I said, is an area where there are Proudfoots, and there have been sightings of Wells in there. Do any of you plan on traveling? Is that close to Interstate 10 or 20? Oh, goodness. Let me look. I'm not good at this, but I will look. Let me Google it for you. Sorry, I'm just Googling that question. It's not near either of them. It is near Interstate 49. Interstate 49. Oh, thank you. Be kind to everyone who's getting married in 2 days. Are you all prepared and ready with everything? And thank you for your sweet donation. You're so sweet. Take a moment and hit thumbs up and share. Help Jay. Thank you. Are you all ready? Are you all ready? Be kind. Do you have everything done? The claim is Yellow Jacket has cancer, green hoodie, I don't know. Well, and yet, do we know for sure the one who has cancer is the one who was yellow hoodie or yellow jacket? Oh, Patty Lee, we're dealing with a bunch of real winners, aren't we? Thank you again, Be Kind. We're just so happy for you, my friend. We really, really are. Nick the Hat, thank you so much, Nick. Love back at you. And Sebastian's Army, thank you for the sweet donation. And hello. Okay, we are going. So Springdale, Arkansas, if any of you are traveling that way. Okay, there's a Holiday Inn here, Super 8, all these areas. So you see the interstates, they can get in and out easily. They love those kind of hotels. Also, ones by the airports are very popular for STing. Specifically is this region that they've been hearing the sightings about Summer and Sebastian. Okay. We are asking residents of Springdale, Arkansas to exercise extreme vigilance in the search for Sebastian Rogers and Summer Wells. See something, dial 911. I want to pull this up for you. I haven't shown you guys this, and I'm sure many of you have seen it already. Let me pull this up. These are the photos of Sebastian at the bowling alley. Those are the photos right there of Sebastian at the bowling alley. Right here. It makes me so sad. He's very thin. She's got her dark hoodie on. The bowling alley they went to for 10 minutes, but she added it to a narrative like it was part of Sunday Fun Day or Monday Fun. Yeah, Sunday Fun Day. for them. Summers was on a Tuesday, so but I still say Sunday fun day. Oh goodness, I've got it too large. Hold on. Hold on. They've got a lot of stuff out. Okay, and it says take 10 minutes, look, report. If you see something suspicious, call 911 or the National Human Trafficking Hotline 1-888-373-7888. Notice those kids. Notice how they're being treated. Notice if they have luggage with them, if they seem to know the people where they are. We just read that one. We did Springdale. So in the region, specifically in these areas, Super 8, Holiday Inn, so all around those motels are the specific regions they want. Keep your eyes open in Springdale, Bentonville, whatever they're calling it, Rogers area, Super 8, Wyndham, Lowell, Bentonville, Rogers area, Heritage Inn, Holiday Inn, Springdale, Fayetteville, Town Place Suites, Fayetteville, North Springdale. So if you're anywhere around those areas, please keep your eyes open. Please. Let's see here. Springdale, Arkansas. If your neighbors act even slightly suspicious, like I told you, there's Proudfoots living out there. Bliss, hold on one second. I have a comment from Bliss Blessings. Thank you for your donation, Bliss. It is sweet and appreciated. Jay, do you know if At Night still plans to release the bowling alley footage? It was posted over a month ago and would be interesting. I think they had said they would post it if they didn't. Let me ask. Or let me just. I will find out for you guys. Nick, are you still in the chat? Okay. I will find out for you. I think it would be very interesting. So allegedly, the big story was the day before Sebastian went missing, and it's changed a little bit with order, who was there, timing, because if you go back to my live where we listened to the PI call, not the most recent one where they leashed on her, but the phone call where she was trying to get information, and it was like pulling teeth. Like they didn't want to help find their own child, which, okay. And so what happened is she claims she woke up, made spaghetti pancakes. Google it, y'all. And then he bragged to family on the phone. I'm wondering what family. Was it the maternal grandmother? She then said they went to BJ's because he loves the Colossal popcorn. And it had just opened there. BJ's had just opened that, I think, the week before there. But there is no Colossal popcorn. It's a Colossal pretzel. And then she said they went and got snacks because snacks are so important to him. But later on, when the PI asked if she unloaded the groceries, she kind of was caught off guard. And she said, oh, but we didn't get much. She didn't mention snacks, how important they were. And I wonder if law enforcement checked the cabinets versus the receipt to see if there were snacks bought that day. Then she said they were at the Strike and Spare. And then when it came out, the Strike and Spare had a tournament. Then it was that they were, and by the way, not alone at the Strike and Spare is what I had originally heard. With family is what I had heard. And then, but maybe I'm wrong there. Then they got there once, and yes, there was a tournament. So we went and played video games. Well, now we find out 10 minutes there. Was she there to get on camera for a narrative? Was she meeting someone there? Is that why Sebastian felt uncomfortable? I don't know. But he doesn't look happy in anything we see from that day. There's no big smile, laughing and joking like Chris Proudfoot wants to tell us happened all weekend. Okay. Thank you, Courtney, because I didn't want to say it out loud. I think it was Springdale, Arkansas. Don and Candace were living in a hotel for a while. Yes, they were. Yes. And Proudfoots lived there too. Not in the hotel, but in the area. You got it, Courtney Morris. You got it. So Don and Candace were living in a hotel in Springdale, Arkansas, too. Springdale, Arkansas, if your neighbors act even slightly suspicious, because remember, Proudfoots live out there, they're likely up to something they shouldn't be. Call 911 immediately. Report every odd detail, no matter how small. Because until authorities say otherwise, we have a ruthless predator is stalking our streets, snatching innocent children in broad daylight, while police dismiss them as mere runaways or cases too complex to pursue. Your silence could be the next victim's last chance. And that brings me to that statement where he says too complex. That TBI keeps talking about what an exhaustive investigation this is for Summer. And I think it's because she's been trafficked. Let's see what else came out here. I haven't read you guys many of these updates in a while. Ashland City, Tennessee. If your neighbors act even slightly suspicious, they're likely up to something they shouldn't be. Call 911 immediately. Report every odd detail, no matter how small, because until authorities say otherwise, a ruthless predator is stalking our streets, snatching innocent children in broad daylight while police dismiss them as mere runaways or cases too complex to pursue. Ashland, Tennessee. Let me get that for you on the maps. Let me go to maps. Sorry, y'all. I'm just putting something in Google. Hang with me. Mods, you do such a great job. Thank you. Oh my. 32 mile. Oh, okay. I believe I do know why this is an area of interest based on something. Keep your eyes open there, please. I'm not sure if I'm at liberty to say, so I'm not going to say. Ashland City, Tennessee is about 30 miles from Sebastian's home. There's facilities there. There's just, keep an eye out if you're there. Yes, thank you, Caroline. Keep an eye out if you're there. Who was KP's mother's victim? I want you to Google it and read the article. I don't want to share that. If anyone knows it in the chat, would you answer? Someone said, Carla said, I believe, oops, sorry, I hit the wrong one. I believe the poker party was a child. Oh, SO ring. Interesting. Interesting, Carla. Robin said, no one's allowed to search, but if CP isn't around, let's bring him home. You live 10 miles from Ashland, Cindy Hodges. Keep your eyes open, please. I have researched that they have some facilities there that might be of interest. So keep your eyes out for Ashland, Tennessee. Let me share. Did I share the map with you here? This is how close it is. 32 miles. And for my sleuths who like to look up all the schools after watching the program and maybe facilities for kids who are having issues or whatever, that would be both Springdale and Ashland would be good areas. Hi, Bart Baloo and Nana Rocks. Hi, Castle. Yeah, I know. I don't want to say it, Castle. Thank you for putting that in there. Okay. No, they're just saying they're areas of interest. They're looking into, they want us to keep our eyes open in Ashland City, Groundby Girl. And I'm just saying, I know a lot of us have been looking into like residential schools and facilities. So these are areas we can be looking in residential schools and facilities. So we can look at Springdale area. We can look at Ashland City area. And I think I think also Myrtle Beach is on the updates. Let me pull that. Now, I don't know the relevance to Myrtle Beach. I'm just going to be honest with you. Okay. I know Ashland. I know Springdale. And I think we're coming up with Chesapeake too, right? Oh, here's Myrtle Beach. Now, I don't know this one, I can't tell you, I don't know, but let's listen. If you're near the Myrtle Beach area, if you've got neighbors that act slightly suspicious, even a little bit, please call 911. They're up to something they shouldn't be. Report every odd detail you see, hear, no matter how small. Because until authorities say otherwise, we have a ruthless predator in Hendersonville and in Rogersville, Tennessee, stalking the streets, snatching innocent children in broad daylight while police dismiss them as mere runaways or cases too complex to pursue. Your silence could be the next victim's last chance. Oh, so sad. Do you know what I found out before we move on? That was Myrtle Beach. Are any of you in Myrtle Beach area? Oh, I'm sorry, you all. I hadn't shared the screen. Sorry. Let me go back to the X things. Are any of you in the near Myrtle Beach? If you are, please be vigilant. Tell your friends, your neighbors to keep their eyes open, their ears open, because we don't know what happened to these kids. And I know time makes us want to say they're gone. But I'm going to remind you again, Elizabeth Smart, the Cleveland Three. The Cleveland Three were taken, kept in a basement close to their homes for over 10 years. J.C. Dugard. Let's just, what's his name? Stephen Strainer. Years and years kept. Years and years. So don't give up on Sebastian or Summer or any child. The Real Me's too says, I've had lots of conversations with Captain McCoy. He's the one that went to the vigil. He says most important thing is keep sharing flyers. Okay, so we have a task. We need to keep sharing flyers everywhere, anywhere. And we need to keep those eyes and ears open. Caroline said Nashville would be closest airport to Ashland, Tennessee. There is also Ashland, Oregon. It's Ashland, Tennessee is their area of focus. And if it's close to an airport, that's terrifying. Yes, so the 3 girls in Cleveland locked up. And they're in the basement, not far from their homes. And he gives them a TV. So they're watching their mother's search, their family's search for them. Then that gave them their lifeline. And that's why I'm bringing this up. If Sebastian and Summer are out there alive somewhere, and they're watching all the news reports, they're not seeing their mommies, are they? Hi, Scotty Tahati. Hi, Pamela. They're not seeing their mommies. And that desperately affected one of the 3 girls. Because 2 of them, it started to wind down, where they didn't have them on the media every day. So the girls missed their families. But guess what they looked forward to? The year anniversary when they knew their mothers would get back on that news. And they did. But one of them's mother never did. And after she was out, I remember reading how devastating it was for her to watch the other 2 girls' mothers on TV and hers not be present. So, Katie Proudfoot, if you are listening, that is from someone who was taken, who didn't see their mother on the news, searching. Sleep on that tonight, dear. Candace Bly, you sleep on that too. Okay, 1 second, because I have something that okay. She made one statement to the media. Okay. Now, if you want to hear a little bit more about that case, I was just sent something. And what I do want to tell you is that case. Okay, hold on. 1 second. Hey, I didn't receive the interviews and stuff. 1 second. I'm right here. What I will tell you is that case is always that's one that I brought up many times as to, they can come home, my friends, okay? Now, hi, Frank. It's so good to see you. And I'm waiting for, so Nick the Hat is doing a documentary Sunday on the Cleveland Three. And he is the individual who found the girls, is going to be on Nick's show Sunday, prime time. Okay. And it's really, he is, well, let's just leave it there. Watch Nick's show Sunday. And he has some interviews he was going to send us to watch and listen to, so we knew how it affected the kids who don't see, just the whole case. But Nick is doing a documentary on it. And it is these girls sitting in the basements. And do you know that girl was deeply affected by the other two getting to see their families searching their moms every year? They were there for over 10. And yet, here he is. She didn't get to watch her mom. Where was her mom on the year anniversaries? What was so important? And it really affected her. So Candace and Katie, get out there so your kids see you. Please hit the thumbs up on your way in. Thank you so much. Frank, it's so good to see you. It was a heartbreaking movie to watch, and watch Nick's documentary this Sunday night. He is going to have the actual individual on. I wonder if I can, hold on, let me ask something. It's got a very, very powerful, let me see what he's calling it. I think out the door. I don't want to butcher. Hold on. I don't want to butcher it. I watched the introduction. It is so powerful. Don't miss this. I won't miss it. I'm telling you. So just so you guys know, I found out At Night was involved in the case. I'm just thinking about this just now because we're talking about Summer and Sebastian. We found out At Night was involved because remember the anti-slap law and all that? Well, there was, in one of the exhibits, had mentioned Summer Wells. Hold on. Okay, let me check my email real quick. But it's just so sad. So yes, here we go. Let's see here.
For 9 years. Was it hard to hold on to hope that she was out there alive somewhere?
I never gave that up. Never. In those 9 years. No.
I want to share this with you all. This is what the documentary Sunday Night is about. This is, I believe, Gina DeJesus's father. So they were there for over 9 years. Okay. And there's a few interviews, and I would like to listen to them together because 9 years, it's easy to say they're no longer with us. That's easy. But if there's not one single piece of proof other than time and statistics, I can't go there. I just can't. And here is why. Let's watch. I'll set this up better. Gina DeJesus's father speaks out about seeing her after captivity. This is credit to, let me put credit up to the channel, the Bear Fine Foundation. Hold on. Let me just put this up. This is one of the three, one of the Cleveland three. Let's just get it started, and then I'll put the banner up. Gina De Jesus's father, after 9 years of captivity, she comes home. And don't forget, there's three, and one of them didn't get to watch her parents fighting for her on TV, and it devastated her.
9 years. Was it hard to hold on to hope that she was out there alive somewhere?
I never gave that up. Never. In those 9 years, no. I knew my daughter was out there alive somewhere.
There are so many other cases here in Florida where children have vanished without a trace. And really, people start to lose faith.
See?
What's your message to their families?
No, number one thing is never give up. Number two is you have to have God as your leadership. He's the one that gets you through the day. That's the creator of all of us. And you have to have him in the line of direct with you all the time.
Describe your emotions when you found out that Gina was alive and she was okay and she was going to be coming back into your arms.
Well, at first I didn't believe it. When the news broke out, I thought that here we go again. Somebody's calling in with a prank. I sat back in my bed. My son is screaming from downstairs. They found the girls. They found the girls.
9 years.
I just told him, leave me alone, and I want to have some rest and some daytime for myself. So I was so tired of looking for Gina all the time. It was just draining me out. The third time he screamed up again, I started moving back and forth in the room, picking up my shoes, my shirt, coming down the steps, got the socks. Then I turned around, I had to go back upstairs, got the wrong shoes. It was just hectic. I just didn't know what to do.
As a father, when you saw her for the first time, after she had been missing for nearly a decade, how did you feel at that moment?
Overjoyed. Tears. God created the biggest miracle in the city of Cleveland.
Yes.
But one thing was that when I got to the hospital,
Y'all, this is the case of the Cleveland three. We have a few interviews, the parents, and the Nick's documentary is called Doorway to Dawn, for those of you asked, and he's going to bring in Charles Ramsey on his show. And these interviews are the parents of the children. Okay. And you can't give up hope. Hi, Orange Wedge. So good to see you. Orange Wedge just said, I just listened to a cold case that was solved after 25 years. The truth will come out. Amen. We don't give up. We got to keep the hope, my friends. Let's not resort, Sebastian and Summer and any of the children, to statistics and time. Let's keep the hope. This is about the Cleveland three girls who were in a basement not far from their homes for over 9 years.
so much in me that I didn't even know how to approach my own daughter. I had to stay in the hallway just to think for a while. My daughter's alive, my daughter's alive. But I stayed in the hallway until I heard her voice behind the walls, where's my daddy, where's my daddy? That started bringing out tears. Would you please tell him to come over here? And finally took one of the law enforcement, one of the sergeants, and said, look, your daughter's calling for you. Come on, don't be scared. I didn't know how to go in that room.
Must have been so special.
Yes, yes. Then when I finally did go in that room,
Bless his heart.
tears of joy, hugs.
And now you all are doing good works all across the country with the Bear Fine Foundation. And tell me why you've taken an interest into Mark Degner's case.
Well, the person who helped me look for Gina, the years that she was missing, is Dennis Bear, his foundation. And I promised him that he took out time to look for my daughter also. Now I'm here to back him up through his foundation and through the good work that he does. That's a blessing for this man through God. Now it's my turn to help him out.
Okay. For those of you just coming in, we are talking about hope. Did you guys see that at all? Or did I not share the screen with you? Hope I was sharing the screen. Okay. I want to play a song for you that explains the case. And this is Doorway to Dawn is the show Sunday, November 23rd, excuse me. It's not this Sunday. And it will be on YouTube, Doorway to Dawn, and it will have the individual, Charles Ramsey, who saved the kids. An American hero without a badge. But let's listen to the song real quick. It's going to tell you a little bit about the case if you don't know it, because I would like to share with you also what I was sent a video of the girls talking. But here's the song that explains the case. Oh, wait, I got to share it. That's right. I got to share it. Never mind. I got to share it with you guys. I can't just play it. Hold on. Can't just play it. I have to email it to me. Hold on. Let me have them email it. I want you to see the intro. Let me see if that was emailed. Hold on 1 second. They're emailing me the intro. Show Poodles, when I click on what you just sent me, it just takes me to the phone book thingy, not the information you want me to look at. So I'm going to play the second interview while we're waiting, because I want you all to keep hope. I do want you to keep hope. Let me go back real quick. Love spending time with you guys. I really do. You're so passionate about these kids. Okay, let me do something first. I'm going to play the girls for you. I didn't think so. Let me make sure I'm sharing the screen.
Police, fire, ambulance.
I'm the police.
Okay, and what's going on there?
I've been kidnapped and I've been missing for 10 years and I'm here.
For more than a decade, there was a dark secret hidden away in this city. In a quiet suburb, 3 girls were imprisoned, tortured, beaten, and raped. Ariel Castro, a school bus driver, had kidnapped all 3 girls: Gina De Jesus, Amanda Berry, and Michelle Knight. In 2013, a decade on, miraculously, they escaped.
had gotten off of work early that day, and I worked at Burger King. I called my sister for a ride. She was at work, and I had called a friend for a ride, and he didn't answer, so I just started walking. And as I was walking, there was a van, and it was in a driveway that I had to go around. I looked up, saw a man and a girl in the van. The girl looked like someone that I had worked with, so, I smiled at them, continued to walk. A couple minutes later, the van pulls up, and he says, "Do you need a ride?"
I was walking home from school with his daughter, Arlene Castro, and she used a payphone to call her mom to ask her if she could come to my house. And her mom said no, she went her other way, and I went the other way. He asked me if I seen his daughter, and I said yes, and he was like, "Can you help me find her?" And I was like, yes, and then he didn't turn around. We ended up going to his house.
I had my Burger King outfit on, so he noticed that, and he was talking about how his son had used to work there, and that I knew a couple of his kids, so...
So it was a kind of casual conversation.
Yes.
And then, of course, when you get to the house, you immediately know that he's not going to let you out.
Did you hear that? He got her in because he started talking to her. Oh, I know he knew, my kids, etc.
Yes.
Amanda had recently celebrated...
And that I knew a couple of his kids, so... outfit on, so he noticed that, and he was talking about how his son had used to work there, and that I knew a couple of his kids, so...
So it was a kind of casual conversation.
Yes.
And then, of course, when you get to the house, you immediately know that he's not going to let you out.
Yes.
Amanda had recently celebrated her 16th birthday when she was kidnapped. Once locked inside Castro's house, she discovered his first victim, 21-year-old Michelle Knight.
This is Seymour Avenue, less than 4 miles from where the girls were abducted. Ariel Castro moved here in 1992, and he was well known in the area. He imprisoned the 3 girls here for more than 10 years. They were chained up for much of the time, raped over and over again, half-starved, sometimes beaten, and never allowed out of the squalid, airless house. 2207 Seymour Avenue has been razed to the ground now. One less physical reminder of the girls' decade in hell.
Okay. And we're going to keep going. Hold on. We're going to keep going. I'm going to go back to that one. I'm going to go back to it.
"10 years. Had you lost hope?"
Never.
This is Gina DeJesus's mother. We're going back to her, and then we'll go back to the one about the girls. We're going to go back and forth. This is Gina DeJesus's mother. We heard her father. Let me see where this one's from, because I'm going to 19 News. Okay. Put my banner up.
Never lost hope, never gave up my faith.
Never give up.
Why?
Because I knew she was still alive.
How did you know?
People call them dreams. I call them vision that God gave me. She will knock on my front door. She will be coming through my front door.
Had to get tough after 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years.
Yes, then it was a fight. Because then I learned I would never accept a no, because I needed to get her picture out there. I needed information. So I did everything I had to do, no matter what it was.
So tell me about May 6th. Where were you? How did it happen? How did you get the news?
In the kitchen, I can hear the commotion going on Seymour, because my sister lived on Seymour. I was actually 2 blocks away. My sister house. She's on West 32nd.
You were 2 blocks away from Gina. Anytime you went to your sister's house, you were
We
2 blocks
passed
away.
so much. We passed by so many times.
Oh,
Even for my appointments, we would always turn down
Oh,
Seymour
my
to go to
goodness.
Scranton, then head up straight to Metro for my appointments. So my baby sister tells me, Sandra, she says, Nancy, they found 3 girls in the basement. I said, okay. She said, well, we got to go. So I said, okay, let's go. But then I see all these people. I see the yellow line tape. And the first person I saw was the FBI agent Andrew. And that's when I ran. I ran and I lifted up the tape and I ran right through it. And I ran right into him and I says, just please tell me that it's her and that she's okay. Because he was crying. And I was like, oh God. He says, Nancy, it's her and she's alive. The only thing I did was cry. And because I knew they were going to fight. I knew they either find her or that she would escape, either one. So I ran up to her. And the first thing I did was I had to pat her down. I had to make sure. It's like when you first have your child, you're checking 5 fingers, the toes, their legs, everything. And that was exactly what I did to her.
a mother who never gave up hope, driving by often where her daughter was being harbored and brutalized. They were that close to home. This mother reminds me of Seth. He doesn't give up. She doesn't give up. 10 years. So let's not let time and statistics, and let's wait for evidence. That's all I'm asking. You can have your opinions if you think he's alive or not, but I really believe I want to show you this because it's important. They come home. Some come home.
Do you remember the first thing she said to you?
I have something to show you, Mom.
Aww.
She showed me the flyer that she decorated.
Aww.
She put butterflies, flowers, and there was a flyer that I gave to Ariel Castro one Saturday.
Oh my gosh. She handed the kid
She held on to it.
a flyer.
Well, he went home, straight home, and gave it to her and made fun of me, telling her that, yeah, your mom's back out in the street giving out flyers. Here's one of the flyers. And that's what kept her hope stronger, because she knew we were out there still looking for her and doing things.
Absolutely. And so to those parents who are
Do you still
not,
have that flyer?
shame
Yes, we do. We do have it.
I bet you do.
Yeah.
I bet you do.
heartbreaking. Okay, hold on. We got another one for you. Hold on. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Sorry, guys. Let me go to this one right here. Back to the girls talking. There we go. And we did that one. Oh, this is part 2.
Let us know where she's going when she arrives. And then, but she kindly reminds us, she's an adult. But for us, she's never going to be an adult,
Aww.
How is she doing?
She's doing great.
Is she thriving?
Yes, she is, and she's working.
Make you proud?
Very proud of her. Oh, yes. For everything that she has accomplished. I never expected it, but she did, and she has. And she's not done yet.
When she had this idea of starting Cleveland Missing along with Sylvia, had to make you proud. She chose to help.
Correct, yes. I'm very proud of that, because when she came up with this idea, the idea was about the family Not so much about the missing, but about the family, because nobody was there for us. We had to learn the hard way, and because of our mistakes. Like the first flyer that was made, it had our home phone number. That was horrible. What she's doing here is this, so the family doesn't suffer, they don't have to beg. Everything would be supplied here. Flyers, where I had to beg to get flyers. And we don't want this for the family. They're suffering enough knowing, that their loved one is missing. And the worst part is the not knowing. And nobody being there to help. This is what this organization is all about. It is to help them.
The only organization of its kind in the country. And it's because of your daughter.
Yes.
Proud.
Gina DeJesus.
A lot of people going through what she went through would hide.
Exactly.
Would shut down and say, I'm done. I want to hide in my room, turn the lights off.
And that is correct. A lot of them have. But so far with Gina, no. She's doing something, she's not hiding, she's going forward. It never has stopped her. And this is why I light up.
She never gave up hope, but she had to fight for resources and flyers. And that shouldn't be the case. So little Gina, who was in captivity for 10 years, started a foundation to support the families of the missing, because she heard what her family had gone through. And some of you had said he ran into the family multiple times. Another one of you shared that Gina had shared she smelled the flyer because she knew her mother had touched it. Oh, we have another one. Let's go back to describing the impact.
She used to pay.
Never sue the other driver after a car accident. There's a better way to get paid a way bigger check without having
a phone to call her.
But again, it was part of the sadism.
Wait.
And over again, half-starved, sometimes beaten, and never allowed out of the squalid, airless house. 2207 Seymour Avenue has been razed to the ground now. One less physical reminder of the girl's decade in hell.
Amanda, you had demonstrated extraordinary foresight to keep a diary. How did that come about? What did you do?
Well, within the first week, I was just sitting in a dark room watching this small black and white TV, and he asked me, is there anything that you needed from the store? Coloring books or something. And I said yes, a coloring book would be nice, and a journal.
You almost made a code, didn't you? I mean, the code, you were being raped repeatedly, sometimes up to 5 times a day, but what you did was you just put 3X, 4X, 5X. Now, why did you do that?
I knew eventually if we were ever freed, my mom would read this, and I wanted my family to kind of know what I went through and how horrible it was. And I also wanted everything to be accounted for.
But was it also a way of writing about the rapes but not writing about the rapes?
Exactly. Yeah.
And how did he chain you, Gina, when you
Well,
were
my chain went through her wall to my wall, like through a wall, because her room and my room were connected, so it went straight through a wall. And then it divided from my ankle to Michelle's ankle.
It must have been terrible to have the chains on all the time. But also, when he was abusing you physically, he had you sometimes in the same room.
There was only a couple of times that happened with me, and yeah, that was horrible. I remember crying and telling him no.
But again, it was part of the sadism.
I think the more we cried and showed him our pain and our sorrow, he got energy from that. It helped him. So we kind of learned. Yeah, we kind of learned, right? To just don't cry, don't show him your pain, don't show him you're mad, even though
Don't
sometimes
let him see you're hurting, so he won't laugh from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
One of the cruelest things, I think, early on that he did was he talked to you about the fact that he'd been on his motorcycle and he'd seen your mum handing out flyers about your disappearance. And he had gone up and taken a flyer from her and asked if there was any information about you, which was so cruel. But you asked for the flyer. Now, why did you want to keep the flyer? Tell me.
Because my mom was handing out the flyer, and it was the only thing that was close to her.
But you also wanted to decorate it. And did you think that you would be able to keep that flyer to the day that you saw her?
Yes.
And that was important to you? Gina's parents, Nancy and Felix, never gave up the search for their missing daughter.
We did everything. Any ideas that came up, if anybody approached us, we took advantage because we knew we had to keep her alive. We knew we had to keep her out there. So
any help that offered, we took it. It is not skipping on my end, Smiling Sleuth. Is it skipping on anyone's other end, on anyone's end? Any help that was offered, we took it. They weren't offered a celebrity like Dog the Bounty Hunter, but they would have taken it. Okay, so it's not skipping for anyone else. Okay, so it might be you, Smiling Sleuth. I'm sorry. And I'd want to chip too, IML. I think we're Mark of the Beast.
So people would not forget.
You got a chance to see your families on television. That must have been both heartbreaking, but was also, it lifted your spirits, Amanda.
It did. You know, that was the only way we knew how they looked, what had changed within a year, to know that they were still fighting for you.
I feel like a piece of my heart was missing because it was just me, my mom, my sister, my 2 children, and my husband. We did everything together. When she came up missing, I lost a piece of me, you know. We were so close. She's my best friend, and it was hard.
But you kept going, didn't you?
I kept going because, like I said, I've never given up hope on my sister. If I didn't know anything about her, there was nothing bad in my heart, you know. So all I can do was keep hope and keep going.
For you, Gina, too, you have this big, fun family, and then you were able to see them on television, see your mum.
Yes.
But something else came on the television as well. You didn't watch it, but you watched the royal wedding.
I did.
Tell me.
Oh, so it was like the biggest thing on all the news channels, and I loved watching the news to know what was going on in the world. And they're like, well, you have to wake up at like 6 a.m. and it was going to be on this channel. So I actually set my clock and got up at 6 a.m.
This is why I switched to injection-free weight loss.
I was eating healthy, working out every day.
Okay, now this is Amanda, and she's going to be reuniting with the man who found them. But I want to share with you first a song that explains the case. And I'm not sure if it's the intro or what, but I'm going to share it with you real quick before we get to that. Here we go. This is Nick the Hat. This is from Nick the Hat. Dr. Nick.
10 years of shadows on a Cleveland block, a neighborhood blind to the devil's lie. 3 daughters stolen, Amanda, Gina, Michelle, chained in hell's basement, no one could tell. Lost in plain sight, praying for a sign while the world moved on, leaving them behind. But into Charles Ramsey, just an everyday guy, dishwasher hustle with a street smart eye. From a rough past, crack fights, time in the pen turned his life Then came the cries pounding through the wall, a desperate voice breaking through it all. I'm a man to bury a name from the faded news, a ghost rising up with nothing to lose. Most would have walked, ignored the sound, but not Charles. He put his burger down. Played neighbor's part, didn't suspect the evil next door hid, till that fateful kick flipped the lid. Fame hit like lightning, TV lights so bright. Book dead giveaway, sharing his fight. Drew carries wisdom, world's your hood now, but Cleveland's his home, he'll take that vow. Gave away burgers to the homeless crew, free McDeeds for a year, he shared it true. It's a doorway to dawn, where the hopeless break free. A busted up barrier in Cleveland's decree. Charles heard the call, wouldn't turn a blind eye. Showed the world courage, don't need no alibi. Brought back the daughters we'd given up for dead. Stood as their savior, no crown on his head. The day the captives defied the grave. Day the captives defied the grave. Years later, low-key in an east side spot, step from the spotlight, give him what he got. Reads ancient books, seeks the roots of sin, wears shades in the dark, cause fame wears thin. Model roommate now, cleans and stays chill, patrols for the bad with a vigilant will. Touches base with Michelle, sees her thrive, while resentment lingers for neighbors who lie. No billionaire dreams, just humble and real. Unlikely hero with a raw appeal. From crack to rescue, he flipped the script, proved one man's guts can make evil slip. Stood for the loss, for the city he claims. Charles Ramsey, legend in his own name. It's a doorway to dawn, where the hopeless break free. A busted up barrier in Cleveland's decree. Charles heard the call, wouldn't turn a blind eye. Showed the world courage, don't need no alibi. Brought back the daughters we given up for dead. Stood as their savior, no crown on his head. The day the captives defied the gate. The day they defied the grave. Charles Ramsey, unlikely king.
Don't miss it. Production by Nick the Hat, our dear friend. Hey, Nick, we love it. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much. Okay, you all, we're going to keep watching some of this. It's just, this is when, okay, let me show you a picture of, first of all, here's the sicko who did it, claiming he's not a monster, that he's just sick. Ohio kidnapper Ariel Castro speaks out at sentencing.
37 counts against him. Ariel Castro was defiant, almost rebellious in court, claiming he never beat or tortured the 3 women he held captive for a decade.
I'm not a monster. I'm a normal person. I am just sick. I have an addiction, just like an alcoholic has an addiction.
An addiction to sex, Castro said, the result, he claimed, of having been a victim himself of sex acts as a child. In one of the more breathtaking moments at his sentencing, the man who pleaded guilty to multiple counts of rape said this about his victims.
Most of the sex that went on in the house, and probably all of it, was consensual. These allegations about being forceful on them, that is totally wrong. Because there was times that they would even ask me for sex, many times.
A staggering claim balanced against photos the prosecution revealed in court. Chains, ties, even a motorcycle helmet that police say was placed on at least one victim when she was sexually assaulted.
It's a heartbreaking story. It is. I want to show you also Charles Ramsey. Hold on.
Hi, my name is Gil.
Hi, I'm Maggie.
Hey,
When I missed 3 new holiday movies because of cookie decorating duty, I didn't get mad. I got frustrated.
Charles, let me talk to you. I'm talking with Charles Ramsey. He's a neighbor. Walk me through again what happened this afternoon. You heard screaming.
Heard screaming. I'm eating my McDonald's. I come outside. I see this girl going nuts, trying to get out of her house. So I go on the porch.
Okay.
I go on the porch, and she says, "Help me get out. I've been in here a long time." So, I figured it's a domestic violence dispute. So I open the door, and we can't get in that way because how the door is, it's so much that the body can't fit through, only your hand. So we kick the bottom, and she comes out with the little girl, and she says, "Call 911. My name was Amanda Berry."
Now, did you know who that was when she said that?
When she told me, it didn't register until I got the call in 911, and then I'm like, I'm calling the 911 for Amanda Berry? I thought this girl was dead. You know what I mean? And she got on the phone and she said, "Yes, this is me." And the detective, Cook, right here, Detective Gregory Cook says, "Charles, do you know who you rescued?" I said.
Now, and when did you see? When did you see Gina?
Look at that crowd.
About 5.
We're good.
So about 5 minutes after the police got here, see, that girl Amanda told the police, "I ain't just the only ones. It's some more girls up in that house." So they went up there, 30, 40 deep, and when they came out was just astonishing because I thought they were gonna come up with nothing. I figured, whoever she was, and like I say, my neighbor, you got some big testicles to pull this off, bro, because we see this dude every day. Every day.
How long have you lived here?
I've been here a year.
Okay.
You see where I'm coming from?
Right.
I barbecue with this dude. We eat ribs and whatnot, and listen to salsa music. You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah. And you had no indication that there was anything going on?
Bro, not a clue that girl was in that house or anybody else was in there against their will. Because how he is he just comes out to his backyard, plays with the dogs, tinker with his cars and motorcycles, goes back in the house. So he's somebody that you look away because he's not doing nothing but the average stuff. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's nothing exciting about him. Well, until the day.
What was the reaction on the girls' faces? I can't imagine to see the sunlight, to be around people.
I knew something was wrong when a little pretty white girl ran into a black man's arms. Something is wrong here. Dead giveaway. Dead giveaway.
Charles, thank you very much.
Dead giveaway.
Thank you very much for your time. And
either she homeless or she got problems. That's the only reason why she run to a black man.
Charles, thank you for being there, man. Charles Ramsey, neighbor, heard the screaming, took action, went and did what he needed to do. The rest is unfolding before us here on Seymour. I'm going to send it back to you.
Every day. They've never seen nobody in that house, bro.
The thing that bothers me about, hold on, sorry guys, let me stop it. You are looking at an American hero. You are looking at a hero who wasn't paid to investigate. You're looking at a hero without a badge. You're looking at a hero who found the girls, who had lived next to the guy, near the guy, barbecued with him, saw him every day. So we don't know where the missing children are. Hi, Rusty Pipe. So good to see you. We don't know. But this is the man that saved the girls, and you're about to watch his reunion with Amanda Berry. And don't forget to watch Doorway to Dawn by Nick the Hat, Sunday the 23rd, where he has Charles Ramsey on his show. Charles Ramsey will be on his show. Let me go back here. Excuse me 1 second.
My dad and I realized
Oh, wait.
Hello.
My baby. How are you? It's cold. Come on, get in here.
It's so cold.
Get in here,
Oh,
get
thank
in
you,
here, get in here, get in here,
thank you.
It was the moment my sister and I thought about for almost 6 years.
I say thank you very much.
Come here. How are you?
I'm good.
How you doing?
I'm blessed. Thank you.
I was finally face to face with the man I remember seeing through that broken door. My personal hero.
So when they say, dude, you a hero, man, good looking now, I say, man, you need to shut up.
Really?
And realize who the hero is. The
But you're
hero is
lying.
that girl that got taken from her family and still fought. Didn't give up. She reversed the game. So this is how it's gonna be. Fine, I can deal with this because I know God gonna come get me sooner or later. So I played the game, which was smart. That was smart as hell what you did. Then I don't care how many years it took. You knew how to play it. That's what makes you the hero.
I was so nervous. And I don't know why, but I think it's just
Please.
coming back from everything. And I haven't faced it yet, you know? But it's surreal to sit here and see you.
That's when we got right into it. May 6th, 2013. The moment he heard me pounding on that door.
Bam, bam, bam. Now that got my attention. I said, it's a white girl over there, man. Y'all not gonna help her? I got a Big Mac in my hand, so I was on my way to get you. But remember, I got a Big Mac in my hand, so give me time.
So when that happened, I just remember I think maybe it was the adrenaline and everything that was just going on. I kind of remember everything, but everything's happening so fast. So from your point of view, what was going on? I remember the door was locked. I couldn't get out. And it was probably so simple. The bottom was like
no, babe, no.
I felt like maybe if I was babe, maybe it was me, right?
No, babe.
So I didn't know it was going.
No.
Okay.
I'm telling you, babe.
It wasn't.
Listen to me.
Okay.
You weren't getting out that door.
Okay.
That man, he was well. That's the reason why I had to do what I had to do at the bottom. If it was that simple, you wouldn't have needed nobody's help, babe. To pull that off and to keep it going that long, you're not an idiot. Period.
And how does that happen with the neighbors on the street? I know his uncle lived in that house
Let me
beforehand.
tell you something. I say that house right there next door to me, I say it's boarded up. And it's 100 degrees outside and there's no air conditioning unit or central air in the back. How do you survive in that house? Well, that's all. That's you know, he playing the band and he probably be practicing in there and he don't like to disturb nobody, so he got the windows boarded up to muffle the sound. I said he's in the band, he got the windows boarded up so he don't muffle the sound. Okay, I'll let you slide with that. That was one time. 5 o'clock in the morning when he come out, he always saw me. What's up? I was getting on his nerve and didn't know I was getting on his nerve. Check me out. I said, what's up, dude? He said, I got some of my home cooked food here. I said, yeah. I said, I got a burger and some fries. He said, I tell you what, you want to trade? I said, yeah. I gave him Chris burger. He gave me the food. I ate it. It was good. Fine. A few days later, he goes, how was that food? I go, man, that was all right, man. You know how to cook. That's all right. We went on about our business. I was a guinea pig. That's how smart Ariel was. Since he didn't trust nobody's cooking, just in case y'all got smart and put some rat poison in it. Now, if I dropped dead, he'd have known. One of your girls tried to kill me.
Was he rude to you when he would talk to you? Or did he have an attitude? Did he seem like, he didn't want anything to do with you? He was just had an attitude all the time?
No,
or was
babe,
he nice?
Look, he played me like a fiddle. Me and him done talk so much because of my music. See, this is what I would do.
I know, I used to hear it all the time.
That was me.
I know.
Now check me out.
I was excited because it was rap.
It's right. All day, you know that's me.
So you never, nobody, like, I know, gosh, so I know
She's trying to get some understanding of what was going on when they were in that home, because they're out, clearly were barbecues, people who knew him, he was out and about. What did they think of him? Excuse me. Because they know him one way. They want to know, how did he slide into society and function there, right? Because that's not the person they know. And they're reuniting and chatting.
would cry, and he would have to turn the music up at like 2 or 3 in the morning. Did you ever hear a baby cry?
And when I was telling people that, since I had no proof, I said, man,
Hear a baby cry? She would cry. It's rap.
It's right. All day, you know that's me.
So you never, nobody, like, I know, gosh, so I know she would cry, and he would have to turn the music up at like 2 or 3 in the morning. Did you ever hear a baby cry?
And when I was telling people that, since I had no proof, I said, man, I'm telling you, man, I'm hearing a child cry. I'm hearing, and I ain't just hearing no baby. I'm hearing grown folks. Because this is what I was to do, right? My paranoia got the best of me. So when I come home at night, I wouldn't go straight in the house. Because I didn't know if Ariel was watching me or not. So we're going to play this cat and mouse game. Let's get it on.
Can you tell me the first time, I'm sorry, this is something I wanted to know, the first time that you saw Jocelyn in the backyard, or wait, how like, was she small? What did he say? Was it that it was his granddaughter or something?
Let me tell you something. Hey, you said a little girl, that's his granddaughter, you say?
Okay, I do just want to tell you what's happening if you're not familiar with what's going on. Is Amanda, the one who's speaking right now, gave birth to a daughter in captivity, kind of like JC Dugard gave birth to a couple of them. And DNA tests confirmed.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it.
Hold on.
Meet Base 44.
And DNA tests confirmed that Ariel Castro was the father. He also got Michelle Knight pregnant multiple times, but each time she was pregnant, Castro abused her, starving her, punching her in the abdomen, and forced miscarriages. These girls survived so much. They're brave women. They had each other, thank God. He gave them a TV. Michelle Knight was not able to watch her family searching because her mother did not. But and Michelle has let me see if I can find Michelle for you. Hold on one second. She's kind of lived a more secluded life.
Michelle Knight, who now goes by Lily Rose Lee, says she's happy.
Okay. So she has changed her name. She has changed her name, and here is Michelle. We're just going to watch a little bit of Michelle.
She's so proud of the woman that she's become, even through that house of horror.
Backyard. The woman you...
I say it was a very, very peaceful place.
Here...
I say true passion in life.
I say it was a very, very peaceful place.
Here in this backyard, the woman you know as Michelle Knight finds her happy.
How I wasn't able to look at the sky, and I wasn't able to smell the grass or the flowers or watch the animals move about. Just being in this ambience is pure joy.
Bliss. Sitting here in nature is something she does not take for granted.
But this is your piece.
Yes, this is definitely my piece.
10 years ago, she couldn't even dream of this peace. 10 years ago, Michelle Knight was rescued from that house of horrors on Seymour Avenue in Cleveland.
3 women who many thought were dead. 2 of those women, teenagers, the last time their families saw them more than a decade ago, have been found alive.
Kidnapped at 21 years old, Michelle Knight, Amanda Berry, and Gina De Jesus spent 11 years being tortured by their kidnapper, Ariel Castro, until the escape on May 6, 2013. Before that, Michelle says she tried to escape.
It's just an unbelievable story. We're going to join Nick. We have Dog the Bounty Hunter in here today. Thank you, Dog, for being here. Absolutely. What a punk. And Dog says, "Run, Wimp, run. The dog is on the hunt." And Dog said, "Who took Sebastian and Summer? Better hide when I get closer, Wimp." And then he calls him a punk. Amen to that, Dog. And thank you for joining us this evening. We really appreciate everything you're doing for Sebastian Rogers, for Ellen Greenberg's family, for all that you do. And Nick the Hat, you know we adore you. You're one of ours. So go, Dog, go. We love you. We appreciate you. We support you. We support At Night. And we want them home. We want them home. So it's time to start hiding, you little wimps, because Dog and At Night and many others are coming for you. And I don't think this is the last you're going to see of Charles Ramsey either, after, because we have a video on November 23rd that's going to show. They're working. They're doing it. Because you know what, you all? We're not going to say time means he's gone. We're not going to say statistics mean he's gone. Look at the Cleveland Three. They came home and they were so close to home. So close to home. And until we know, we don't know. Right? And Dog says, "I don't need media. They'll be there when they are in cuffs." Amen to that. Thank you. I see a lot of similarities to the one girl, Michelle Knight, who didn't have a mother looking for her. Sebastian does not see his mother. And you know what? That's going to be traumatizing when he comes home. That is going, and Dog says, "Yeehaw, Sebastian will be found." Thank you. Yes. And he also says, "Big news soon." Oh, Dog, please. Thank you so much. You know, it's been nothing compared to what Seth has gone through, but Sebastian's army wants to bring him home. Thank you, Dog. We'll be waiting for the big news. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Sebastian's army. Thank you, Seth, for being the voice and the parent that Sebastian can be watching and hearing and knowing no one gave up on him. You didn't give up on him. And thank you, Sebastian's army. All of my mods, thank you. All of you who are in here, all of you in the bushes, we're not giving up. These children are precious, all of them. I want a perp walk too. I want a long perp walk, Brooke. But you know what? If it is who we think might be involved, I have a feeling it won't be a perp walk. But thank you, Dog, for being here. Nick, we are only here because of Seth Rogers, and we appreciate that because he is dedicated. He has to find his son. He doesn't care about all the other stuff. He wants to find his son. He's not fighting about public easements. He wants to find his son. He's not fighting about trespassing signs. He wants to find his son. He's not dressing up like a sheriff making jokes. He's out looking for his son. He is not at casinos. He is not at Disney World. He is looking for his son. His son is his mission. And Dog and Nick and At Night, One World, thank you. Because like I was telling some of my subscribers in the comments or some people today, if we were left with, if we didn't have At Night and Dog right now, you all, where would we be? Where would we be in this case? It would be frigid cold and we'd be watching spaghetti dinners and campaign elections. So we truly appreciate everything you all do. And thank you so, so very much, truly. You all, we're going to end it here tonight. We're at about 3 hours. I want to thank you all for being here. And someone put out a comment that was just so cute about Dogwood. Oh, it said, oh, it was so cute. Yes, Dog says he is a real father. Absolutely, he is. And that's what every parent who has a missing child should be out doing. Wait until you hear the tapes between Chris and the mother. Ooh, I hope they're released. I do. I can't wait. You see, they have a lot of work they've done. And that's my point. They're still working. They're still surveilling. They're still standing beside Seth. We need the team. We need the team. Everyone who can help, we need you. We need to bring home the children. Let me see if I'm missing any more comments from any of you. I want to thank you for a wonderful night. Dog, thank you for being here. We know you have a busy schedule. Nick, you as well. So looking forward to your upcoming project. And Sebastian, we're coming for you, honey. Don't give up. Don't give up. You just if you were just watching, hon, you saw a rescue after 9 years. It's not going to take that long, sweetheart, but we're coming for you. You all please hit that thumbs up on your way out. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. We are Sebastian's Army. Keep keeping on and stay safe. Peace.